Okay. That was not... That's what I want to do. There we go. Hello, everybody! Greetings to all of you, and welcome once more to Fall of Avanswell. We're ready to dive back into our adventures with, Umbrin having a tentacle popsicle. It's an actual thing. Don't worry about it. Anyway.
It'll be lore relevant, I assure you.
It'll totally be lore relevant. Anyway, why don't we do what we normally do and throw some initiative out there to see who gets
I don't think they can hear.
Yeah, they should be able to.
We can.
Thing.
I thought.
Sorry. Sometimes like little coughs and blips cause the thing to bounce, but not anyone. But not like But then you don't hear anything, and I was getting. Yeah.
It's probably because.
So sometimes if I see that a lot, I'm like, wait, can we be heard? But no, I can.
Mm-hmm. All right. Just need Ixbanor, and we can see.
I'm not.
20. 14. All right. So it looks like we'll be Ixbanor, Umbrin, Calder. So today's little warm-up question that I have for everybody was, of course, what's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you as an adult? That's an interesting one to ask. So, Wyrm, I'll throw it over to you to start us out.
I am Diamond Wyrm, and I play Ixbanor, the awakened Ferret Sorcerer Alchemist. Subclass Alchemist. So dedication Alchemist. I need to figure out
Alchemist dedication, yeah.
Alchemist dedication. Anyway, so one time I was brewing a batch of Alchemist Fire, and I fell in the pot, and I got burns all over my body. But they also put the cone of shame on me, so I was they had to shave me. So I was basically a hairless ferret with a cone of shame walking around for a few weeks.
At least you didn't turn like purple or something.
True.
Mm-hmm. You guys turn it over.
I am Joe. I play Umbrin Wisespark, the Fetchling Animist, and Umbrin's most embarrassing adult moment would be he used to keep his shadow on his chest. And one day, with summoning him, a gust of wind blew shadow right into his face. That's why he moved him now to his arm.
You were that. You were bat. You were bat. Bat Animist.
It's like, ah!
I hide. There's nowhere to hide. I lay down.
Mm-hmm.
Jessie.
Animist.
Mm-hmm. Finally, we have Calder.
Yeah. Playing Calder Wrynn, human gunslinger. You can find me in your walls. The most embarrassing thing that ever happened to Calder was a few weeks ago before meeting these two. He was wandering into a town. He was a little tired. He went to a bar, see if he could get a room. He slipped and fell on the rug and hit his head on the table, so he was unconscious for 2 days and woke up with no shoes.
That's an interesting one to lose. Just no shoes. The mysteries of what the heck happened.
Still looking for that pair of shoes.
One day, perhaps.
One day.
Mm-hmm. Hey, if
You'll
you
find
had
a
missed...
goblin with a pair of your shoes.
I have these really nice shoes! You missed last week, though. Our group here managed to navigate their way back to the dungeon they had been in order to find out more information and discover things. They found the place in a much different condition than they had left it, with a kind of strange, almost haze in the air that seems to be some kind of mist that they've managed to stop it being produced, but it doesn't mean it's not in the air for the time being. You really haven't cleaned out the place. You've at least made it not get worse. Also, the entrance that they came into has collapsed, and now they fought a couple of large mutant creatures, defeated them, and that's where we are resuming. So,
That's where I got the tentacle popsicle.
yes, one is frozen. So, you are now in the room with the horrific creatures, very dead now. The source of the mist, though it doesn't seem to be spewing anything at the moment, the cauldron still kind of bubbles over with this kind of like weird material in it that seems almost like a bubbling gas. It just doesn't spilling over anymore. But the area, at least in this room, is still incredibly misty, hazy, foggy. And you were at the door, leading towards where the creatures were. The experiments.
And that is unlocked, you said, right?
It had been unlocked. It's closed right now.
I will open it.
Alright, it opens just in far. This was an iron door with a little kind of grate in it. You can kind of... you still... So, before when you were here, you heard noises. It is eerily quiet right now.
Well...
Right. So you will approach the cages, as they were these cages built into the floor that the creatures were down below you in, and you still see the first cage that you had approached previously that had a creature in it. You can look down into it, and you see kind of lying down at the bottom of it does seem to be the shape of some kind of creature. Unfortunately, with the this room here, it also is pretty like kind of hazy, foggy, and it seems like with these low areas, the kind of as like yes, this isn't as thick as it is in the laboratory, but these lower areas have kind of like seeped down into there and kind of filled it a little bit. So you really can't get a view of it, but it just seems to be lying down there. You can't tell alive of it.
I'm gonna try to make a perception check and see if I can hear if it's breathing.
Sure.
I know this is probably going to be difficult, but let's see.
Mm-hmm. Alright. You'll take a listen.
No!
And, unfortunately, you really can't tell. If it is breathing, it is very light, not heavy breathing. But again, like, not enough sound, and it's just shaded.
I rolled a 2. I don't know if the creatures are still alive in the cages.
Let me check. Can I also make a medicine check?
He wasn't making a medicine check. If you want to try to make a medicine check, you could go in there.
I was making a perception check.
Medicine.
Breathing.
Okay.
Because again, like, these are low areas and below the kind of like base ground level, so a lot of the like gas and material has definitely accumulated in here more than other places.
Yep. I'm gonna regret this. I pull out a rope, tie it around, and start to tie it around my waist.
Okay.
Lower me down. If you see any movement, immediately pull me up.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Could just shoot him.
I'll hand the rope to Talas.
And I mean any movement.
Because Talas would be the one to do that to.
Yeah.
I prefer someone with reaction speed, to be honest, rather than strength. I am not heavy.
Oh, true. I mean, I can try to do it.
Okay. Alright, you will be lowered down into the mist. I will need a fortitude save from you.
This is finally the time I roll terribly.
That's
Yes.
true, it is a
Yes.
pretty terrible rule. Alright, so previously all of you were suffering from, I believe, Enfeebled 1.
Yep.
You are going to increase to Enfeebled 3.
Ouch.
The gas in here is thick. You definitely can feel like you are diving into, like, it's kind of almost soup-like. And you almost feel your body, like, as you're kind of, like, holding the rope being lowered, you feel yourself for a second, like, you know, almost losing grasp, then you kind of hold on just barely. because you have good climbing abilities, but still, there's just something about this that just feels like your entire body is being sapped. Eventually, you'll be lowered to the creature. This thing seems like a strange amalgam of a large reptile, bear, wolf, and something else. It's really hard to tell. You see no movement from its body and no obvious signs of breathing.
Okay, can I make a medicine check to see
Sure.
if it's okay?
Alright, I'm gonna take a look at it. I'm gonna roll something here. Don't mind me, just roll something here. Cool, great. Okay. If I kind of look over it and kind of study at it, you can't tell much. If it's... The fact is, like, just looking it over, you don't think it's dead, but you're not sure. Because you can't really see any signs of any kind of breathing very much. And there aren't any kind of telltale signs of death to it. It just is... unconscious?
It seems to just be unconscious. I will shut up.
Well, if you want to pour the stuff on it.
Well,
Are we gonna haul it up here?
He has a rope.
Alright, as you say those words, the beast will snap back into life and will lunge at you. I will allow whoever is watching to make a, we could say that's reflex save? Sure.
Okay.
See if you can pull up a Ixbanor quick enough.
Well, let's see what I can do.
I can
Hopefully
make
not
it.
roll. Well, I said I was holding the ropes.
Oh, you're holding the rope right now? Oh, word.
Yeah.
I believe.
basically, yeah. Ouch.
Alright.
Yikes. It could be worse.
I mean, I get +9, but
Yeah.
when you roll a 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Just do that. There we go. Alright, does 23 hit your AC Ixbanor?
It does.
Okay.
I'm fishing.
Alright. You will take 20 damage as it will savage into you and grab you, crushing you in its jaws. It won't keep hold of you, so if someone wants to fish you out after that, I will allow it.
I will fish him up.
Yes. You were already trying to, but it got him in the pocket.
Yeah.
The creature then seems to awaken with a kind of snarl as you did get a good sight of it. Its eyes were kind of glazed over. As it was kind of lunging at you, you could kind of see like drool drip from its mouth in kind of like a slovenly way, as it just was something a little off about it. Different than what it was before. It seems to be almost kind of like a little sluggish at the bottom of the thing, but you also see like it is now aggressively leaping up and snapping at where you guys are. Where it was just kind of maybe growling and kind of patting at the walls before, it is now like just jumping up straight up and then it's kind of snapping its jaws and then kind of sinking back into the mist. Repeatedly.
I know I'd regret that. Ow.
It's not even making any noise, not any kind of growls, not any hisses, it's just kind of like jumping up and snapping.
Well, do we still try to pour the liquid down the hole and try to catch it?
No, we definitely need one outside so that way we can paralyze it. So that way we can put it. It needs a mold of some kind. We need to put it into something. Otherwise, the liquid will just flow over it.
Well, how thick is the liquid? Enough good
It's-
cling.
Well, wouldn't the cage it's in? It's in a solid thing.
It's
in the
two
floor.
liquids that you have to mix together to get it to solidify.
My point is, it's in the floor, so wouldn't it just? The walls
I mean,
act
I
as a-
thought all okay. How big is the cell that this creature is in?
big enough you probably could. It would partially cover the creature, but unfortunately, it isn't confined enough that the amount you have would completely cover.
Yeah,
It does look like when they previously used it, they probably put things in stuff to order to get it around. You know,
yeah,
like you were saying,
because even a confined, heavily confined caged animal is still not the same as like a sarcophagus. You know, it's that's why, which I've kind of viewed the size of these things. Like I feel, so
Well, we could keep
What if
searching
we
around.
put a
for
bunch
there.
of rubble down there?
I mean, I feel like it's hungry. We have the paralysis poison. Dose some meat with it and throw it down there.
I could spare a couple rations, I suppose.
We have
mean,
two
there was-
frozen creatures that.
There's also, I mean, there's also meat in like, over here. I think. Food supplies or something. Is either
Oh, yeah,
over
there was
here,
food
over here.
Those would be
So.
super old by now, no?
But where
Right.
did the cave-in exactly happen?
Way back
at the
start.
entrance. Yeah, like way back.
The creature is now hanging from the cage bars and shaking them violently. It's managed to finally grasp onto them, and it's kind of bad. So its snout is kind of sticking out, and occasionally will shake its entire body, and you'll feel the bars kind of shake a little bit.
Does this
Could we
creature
just-
look relatively equal in strength to the prototypes from earlier that we fought?
Probably at least. It is a bestial creature, and it seems very tough and muscular. As I said, it's like a weird cross between a wolf, bear, and probably like crocodile of some kind, with something else in there. It's really hard to tell what it is. Some kind of awful chimera, you know.
Could shoot it and knock it out from here.
Oh, we don't want to kill it, is the thing.
I wouldn't kill it. I would
Shake.
put it to sleep for a while.
Let's just go get some meat from the other room, real fast. And we literally have paralysis poison. I think that'll work.
Yeah, it has to be ingested, right?
Yeah, it's an ingested poison.
Okay. I'm just making sure it couldn't be coated on a weapon and just like stab it.
No. I don't know if there is an injury paralysis poison.
There is, yes there is. There's only one paralysis poison in the entire game.
Oh, but isn't it like an 18th level item?
It's a 20th level. I talked to
20th level?
Tantus before. Yeah, it's a 20th level poison. Yeah, that's why I talked to Tantus, and it was just basically like, yeah, just do, like, basically it's just kind of equivalent to the paralysis spell, which is like a 3rd level spell, so it's like a 4th level item.
Effectively,
That's
the
the
poison
second-
does like a crap ton of poison damage, and it also paralyzes. And I'm like, this thing isn't made to do any damage. It's made to just paralyze.
Yeah.
That's still so wild to me.
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess
then let's go get the meat
what I
and come
wrote
back.
down.
show the way.
So what meat are you getting? The stuff in the
There-
storeroom?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Hi, welcome to the bag. I'll catch up to the bag
There you
up next.
That's the paralysis poison. Oh, I didn't remove the text for the Tears of Death, but anyway.
Alright, where was the entrance to that room? It was hidden.
It was one of it was this one or
It was
this
this
one?
room over here is where it was. This
Yeah.
room had just normal animals.
Right, yeah, that was the cage animals and that was the supplies, so.
Yes. And these
Oh,
cages
okay.
were above the ground.
Yeah,
Like-
I also stealthing at this point.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
Okay.
I don't know if you want me to roll, but
Oh, God damn it.
Since I'm going to be doing avoid notice,
yeah.
I have to roll
Get back
after
to
pretty much every single combat.
Alright. You can once again head to that room where you can see it's a bunch of supplies, containers filled with dried meats and such. That look to be stored.
Also, we actually actively are going to leave Talas there, I think. Just yell at us if it breaks the bars.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
we can come around.
So far, no.
Grab meat.
Alright, you will acquire dried meat. Doesn't take you
I
long
pass
to search the area and find something.
Yep. I pass him the paralysis poison.
Okay.
I toast the meat with paralysis poison.
Problem!
Oh,
Yeah, I
shit.
saw the 19.
Yeah, I know. When I saw the 19, I was like, oh. Yep.
oh,
I mean,
dear.
let us know if we need to roll initiative or something.
Let's roll something here. You just stuck in there now. You're like this monster. Except instead of someone putting you in here, you jumped in here yourself. I'll get you out.
I think, is it adventure or,
Of course it's adventure.
Yeah, it
There's
is.
a bag next to me, and she was like, I'm going to get in there. You're free now. Don't do it again. I mean, she's going to do it. I know. She's going to look back and be like, oh, bag. You're back in there. Whatever, you live there now.
Here's the bag.
This little eye sticking out like, I'm adorable. Don't mind me. Alright, it seems as though the metal grate that was above the top where the opening to the cage was has now been torn apart. You can hear this thing kind of popping up occasionally. Now. Like, you can kind of see, like, it's trying to, like, kind of leap out, as it's, like, it hasn't completely destroyed the top, but enough that if it, like, gets itself in such a way, it can probably crawl out. Yeah.
Alright, well.
I'm
seems
gonna toss
determined.
meat down the hole. The poison meat down the hole.
Okay. It's going to take another jump.
It's not interested in the meat.
I could shoot it, all I'm saying.
Let me see something.
Because you can take non-lethal shots with a firearm, or a ranged weapon. You just take a -2, same as any other non-lethal attack.
Basically, you can kind of shoot to wound it rather than kill it.
What is,
How deep is that hole?
Oh, I think
10 foot?
Pathfinder 2e takes the 5e approach of you just have to call it.
No.
non-lethal.
Pathfinder 2e, if your a weapon or attack does not already have the non-lethal trait, if you want to make a non-lethal attack, you must take a -2 penalty.
You're right.
Which I understand, and I like that you can actually use
I actually
ranged weapons
prefer
to
that.
knock out.
I don't. I was thinking of a different game. Okay, that's why. Sorry, I got some. I've been reading a bunch of different games recently.
But
I realized.
GM, how deep is the pit?
About 10 feet, a little bit more than that. But about 10
Oh.
feet.
Ooh,
I
not too
could
terrible.
cast like scatter scree or pummeling rubble down it.
The issue is I don't know if Animists get access to that non-lethal metamagic, or sorry, spell
It
shape.
wouldn't be non-lethal, but it's 2d. It's not a huge amount of damage. But it might be enough to kind of
Discourage it.
discourage it from keep jumping.
Can we just? I have a feeling if we just pour the meat.
I-
No,
I
no,
threw
he already
it down the
threw it
hole.
down.
Okay, you already
Yeah,
did. Okay.
And
You already threw it down?
He's ignoring it and
Yeah.
is still jumping.
Yeah, so we're trying to discourage it from doing that anymore.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I could easily get. How big is this thing?
Medium-sized.
Okay.
medium creature.
I'm just going
wait.
to do this.
Let me. Okay. Just tell me what you're gonna do because I
I
have
was
a
gonna
much
do
better idea.
Aqueous Orb.
Oh,
I just
Oh,
yeah,
to
no.
trap it?
orb.
I have a better idea first.
Okay.
Hold on. There we go. Now it's just covered. It looks covered.
Okay.
Now we just have to determine if it's intelligent enough to try and disbelieve the illusion. Surely not. It's so
Well,
big a
it
deal.
is. I think this was half human, half beast.
Yeah.
So
The whole idea was that they retained some amount of human intelligence, but
It's
who knows
it's
about
less
this
that they're
one?
half human, half beast, and more that these things are basically they transfer minds or brains of
Yeah, they transferred the
people
like
into them.
yeah. Or no, they transferred the
Oh.
beasts into the people, right? And
No, this one is specifically like they're putting like
Oh, the
people
opposite.
intelligence
Okay, this is-
into the
this
beast.
was okay. This experiment was the opposite. Got it.
Yeah, these are just made to make horrible chimeras that have a level of intelligence, but they pretty much seem to wipe out any essence of what the person was when they create them. As far as anybody that's ever encountered them has been able to tell. The other process was basically like turning a person into a meat shell for another humanoid.
Yeah.
So you could
isn't
hide
that,
this.
actually then isn't that more of what we're looking for then?
We are
That's
technically
more what you're
looking for
looking
the
for?
opposite. Yes.
So
but
we
either
can
But
way,
it is similar technology.
we're trying to find we're trying to like do this so we can take something and research it to develop
Yeah.
a test.
I'm
This
just thinking,
is-
is there something better that was in the lab that we would
You
want
did
to
not
see?
see anything while you were here.
Okay.
Yeah, this
So then-
might be our best bet. And also, it's the one that's most readily available to us.
Does it? Okay.
Oh, is it still trying to
Does
jump
it
at us?
look-
It's still trying to
Yeah,
jump
does it-
up. It has
so
not
it's not-
interacted with the thing yet, but it's still trying to jump
Oh.
up.
Oh, okay. Any creature that touches the image or uses the seek action.
I mean, I don't have anything that I can make it like put to sleep. Right?
If you just want to hit it, then if you're not going to do a ton of damage,
Well, like
Maybe.
I said, I could also Aqueous Orb, which I could try to trap it in
oh right,
a
yeah.
giant
Oh.
orb of water.
Yeah. Also, I'm going
It
to
would start to suffocate, though.
Oh, I know something else I'm going to do. I'm going to telekinetic hand, grab the meat, and kind of shake it in front of it.
Oh, that's
Okay.
not a bad idea.
That's a good idea.
You can dismiss Aqueous Orb though, no?
Yeah, it's sustained, so I can just stop it.
Give me a medicine check as you're doing that experiment. I'll let you roll an extra roll. Okay.
There we go.
As you're observing it and trying to like get its attention, you think there's something wrong with it. Like, this isn't normal behavior. Like, it is
Like enraged.
ignoring you. Not even enraged, because it's not making any noise whatsoever. It seems almost single-mindedly like hunting you people down.
There may be some kind of control switch in them. That's my thought.
Well,
They don't seem to be. They seem to be focusing on us.
I could Aqueous Orb and try to suffocate it to the point that it's close to death and then release it.
I think suffocation at a certain... Does suffocation lead to unconsciousness or just straight death in Pathfinder?
Let's see.
Traditionally, it was both, but I don't know. I'm not as
When you run out of
not
air,
as
you
sure of
fall
it.
unconscious. Okay.
Yeah, and start suffocating. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
How
after
long does
enough
your
time,
orb last?
Sustained up to a minute.
Okay. I'll just tell you,
Brief for
Ixbanor,
number
you're
of
not
rounds
sure a minute
equal to
would
5
work
plus your-
because it is
yeah.
part, like, crocodilian. It might be able to hold
Oh.
fire.
Well,
Yeah.
You're not sure how.
are
Also,
there
I
any?
could move it around.
I mean, it would block it and maybe capture it, but that's but it, like it actually like suffocating it.
But I could move the orb around. We could get it somewhere else that might be a tighter space to actually then.
oh,
release
you know
it
what?
into.
How about this? If you want to trap it with an orb, I'll start hitting it because every time it gets critically hit, it loses air. So if I just non-lethal, and I'll make non-lethal shots so I don't accidentally blow its head off, and we'll just jostle him and injure him enough to where it'll fall unconscious eventually. Because it already mauled the shit out of Ixbanor.
I am very hurt.
So, I'd rather not have that thing conscious when we lug it up.
Are there... okay, I have a question. There are other cages with other creatures in here, right?
You really haven't checked.
There were other creatures. I'm not sure if there still are.
Do you want to go back down?
I mean...
No, there were.
Was it one cage? Yeah, was it? Yeah.
There was about,
one...
I think I've asked about like eight like holes in here or something like that. I think it was like 8.
Yeah. I mean, I'll look around and see if there are other creatures and how they're behaving.
There are, similar to before, not all of them are occupied. It seems none of them have been emptied out. They all seem to be in the basic lethargic state as the one that you went in was at. So none of them are moving around, just lying down there. And it's really hard to tell, again, alive or dead, deep in the fog. This one's keep leaping out. Anyway, I have to roll a few more times. Sorry for that. 1, 2, 3. Not yet. It's trying.
Perhaps we should just kill this one and try another one?
No, shit. You don't gotta tell me twice.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna activate ye olde piece of elemental ammunition, and I'm gonna take a shot at Freakoid.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that is definitely a critical hit. I'm going to do something here. Roll your damage, and I will roll a few things here, just because I want to see some things here.
Back to the outhouse from whence you came, foul bitch.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right.
Oh no, he's rolling.
It would have theoretically gone out on the 5th turn. I'm pretty sure after that crit, it will not last 5 turns. So it's shooting fish in a barrel. You can kill it. You know. Yeah. I just wanted to see if it would give out at any time relevant to this entire thing.
To try and fight back.
Yes.
I feel like arguably
even on the 18, it would use its turn to basically escape because it has to squeeze through. So it would have successfully jumped up and squeezed out, and that would have been its like 3 actions. So 5 turns after that crit, it's dead. It keeps trying to jump up. It does take more hits than just the one, and it does not seem to react to any kind of hit that it has. It's just it keeps going as body kind of gets torn apart. It seems almost a little unnaturally tough, as then like the last shot will kind of like the last hit will kind of hit into it, and it'll kind of just kind of collapse down into a lump of bottom and stop moving.
Damn, no self-preservation instinct. Never seen something like that.
Well, yeah. We could try to open up one of the other grates to the cage, and I could do an aqueous orb to whatever's down there, and
find one that's not crocodilian.
Yeah, we can try. I don't mind going down this time, or I don't mind holding the rope.
Okay, so you're just gonna like look around at some of the different creatures to see one. You're just gonna look for one that you think might be better for an aqueous orb, is what you're saying?
Yeah, something that doesn't, something not amphibious.
Sure.
Something we can suffocate.
Something we can suffocate. Then you will find what seems to be the cross between some form of, I have to remember the proper term of that. Okay. Basically, a cross between a cassowary, a cheetah, and a some form of badger.
Oh. Works for me.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, you want to start drowning
some kind of like part bird, horrible cat monstrosity. Anyway.
Well, first we want to open the grate, so then I can also haul it up.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I'm guessing Talas could possibly pry
one off. These grates were actually closed with winches, remember? Winches up on the top There was a
Yeah,
winch
so-
around on each side of the wall that would normally use the winch on
Right,
heavy
so we
grates.
could just use...
These are heavy grates. That thing busted through like a big iron gate, so it was quite determined to get to you.
Well, maybe I should cast Aqueous Orb first, and then we should winch open the... Because it still technically gets a save.
Mm-hmm. What kind of
That's
save?
true.
Let me look here.
Why don't you throw it into check?
Yeah, it's a reflex.
Oh, reflex,
Mm.
okay.
Come on, me. I'm just
Yeah.
Healing yourself from your horrible
Maiming.
wolf bear croc wounds.
DC 21 reflex.
Okay.
And since it's unconscious at the... Well, it's not moving around at the bottom. Hopefully it's asleep, so...
So...
I think unconscious imposes a penalty. It's not an automatic failure.
Okay, look. I'm not gonna lie. It's unconscious and in an area that the orb is larger than.
Yeah.
It's a 10-foot diameter sphere. It will fill this up. I don't
Yes.
think it can make a save against I'm filling up an area.
Fair enough.
I just get this feeling you really can't save against that.
You could always natural 20. I'm not going to argue against that. Not going to argue against us getting
also,
a free W.
I also just looked up.
Because if it critically fails, it can't even swim to get free.
Oh,
I'll
wow.
roll a d20 and just see what I get here, just in case it like critically fails or something.
Oh, unconscious.
Well,
is
that's
unconscious is a -4 status penalty. Wow,
well,
that's disgusting.
so it was good for you to ask because we did check, and I do believe a 3 is a critical failure for it. Especially with the -4 penalty for being unconscious, because that would have been its bonus from -1, and it does not have a 12. Actually, which it needs a 13 to even get to not a critical failure. So, does not
But
have.
once it's passes out, I will bring it up and
Yeah.
and
So
then
we do
just
we do
release the
yeah,
orb.
yeah, we do want to be careful because if you're unconscious and not at 0 hit points, nudging or shaking you awake with
give
an interact action can wake you up.
Me
loud-
a
same with loud
medicine
noises.
check then. Anybody can make that to basically judge when to remove it from the orb.
Why don't you do the medicine, Ixbanor? Because I didn't actually take medicine.
I did, yeah. So
Oh, by the way, do you have a medicine kit? Because I had one, but I don't actually have medicine, so it's useless to me.
I do not.
So let me put it on the group stuff and the party stuff, and then you can drag it to the party.
That works.
Second to open up the party. It's
Fun fact: there's a search inventory thing at the bar at the top.
what is it actually called, though? I'm trying to remember.
Healer's
Medicine-
toolkit.
Healer's kit?
Oh, healer's kit.
Oh, there it is. Healer's toolkit. There. I dragged it over.
Okay, I'll take
I mean, if it looks like it's gonna wake up, I can, shoot it non-lethally this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do this because I just want to see what it does. Hit bandages, herbs, administer aid, treat poison, or treat. Okay.
I mean, I just want. When I was thinking about it, I'm just like, the person
Yep.
who has medicine should actually have that.
No, I mean, yeah.
Okay. Do you want to give me guidance for this?
Sure, I'll cast guidance for you.
I'm glad I got it.
Okay. Alright, I'm just I'm gonna roll something to see how well I roll. So do that there. Interesting. Okay. Anybody else want to roll a medicine check? I'm just gonna ask before I move on.
I mean,
I
I
can
can attempt it.
throw one.
Sure.
It's just not going to be very good. I'm
I mean, it's possible
mostly
to roll better than
carried
me
by
still.
untrade improvisation.
No. Oh God.
I'll roll one.
A 20 and a 1.
Forgetting which one of these things is skills.
It's the hand.
Oh, proficiencies, that's right.
Yes.
Wow.
Man. I feel that. Yeah.
What?
Let's go
Wow.
see if we... Yeah, so let's go see if we can find a box from the storage room.
That's big
and
enough.
That's big enough that we can mold it into.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
try.
I'll run back to the storage room and look because.
Well, you're holding the orb, aren't you?
Well, I thought I said once it goes unconscious, I was going to release it so it doesn't die.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the Mexican check was to determine when it went unconscious.
Yeah.
Oh shit! So I guess fuck.
So
Well, I can't just
I
keep
gave
it
you.
in the-
That's the thing.
I-
I would have told you it's unconscious now, and you would. So you would drop it.
Yeah.
We don't want to kill it.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, if you want to go grab the box, I'll stay here and watch.
Yeah. Just in case something happens, I think it's best
Ooh.
that the majority of the party.
Yep.
Is, who's this room, right?
Okay.
That one.
Yeah, that room.
Yeah.
So, it's going to start moving.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
Suffocation
I'm go-
ends as soon as you remove it from water.
Oh.
Basically, as soon as it gets
Oh.
air, it starts becoming conscious again. Once your air is restored, you stop suffocating and no longer unconscious unless you're at 0 HP. It wasn't at 0 HP.
I knew I should have shot it.
Like, you drowned it to unconsciousness, that is not getting it to death. And you really didn't roll well enough to
Yeah,
get closer.
and the thing is, if we would have thought about the box sooner, I would have just kept it. I could have kept it in the orb while suffocating it and brought
Yeah.
it with me. But we didn't think about the box sooner, so.
Yeah, we just got to roll with the punches.
I'm gonna
Yep.
put, let's just put bear
Well.
on there. I'll use bear. That's too big. Sorry. Bear's too big. Damn you, grizzly bear. You're too big. I know what to put in there. Hey, badger. It's not a badger, but we'll put the badger on there.
That's
I mean, you
an
said it was
awful
a
token.
mix of a badger and a.
It is
something.
partially badger, cheetah, castle.
Castle,
Badger
yeah.
cheetah, that's what it
You know what? I would have left Shadow behind just also to have watched.
Uh-huh. Okay. Anyway, it is currently stirring. It is not awake. What do you want to do? You
Shoot
probably
it.
have, like, a turn on it before it wakes up from its unconsciousness.
I'm gonna toss my rope to Talas and say, let's hog tie it if we can.
I'm going to make a non-lethal shot with
Mhm.
my gun.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take a -2.
And it's
penalty.
unconscious.
For- Oh, true. So we should have a -4 to AC before it wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
Please, crit again.
I believe that would actually be a critical.
Oh, nice. Mid damage.
It's so nice to have a damage dealer on our team. we like, in theory, I could have gone focus damage dealer, but decided not to.
Anyway, okay. Still a pretty good hit. I guess Talas, you were trying to hog tie it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I give it to Talas because basically, rules is written. He has to grapple it and then do something.
All right.
Grapple to restrain it.
Let me see about grappling to restrain a thing here. Let me see. Do I have grapple on here? I don't have grapple as an axe.
Yeah.
I don't. Let me look up those rules.
Grapple or athletics check versus target's fortitude DC. You can grapple a target you already have grabbed or restrained without having hands free. Your target is restrained until your next turn, unless unless you move or your target escapes.
Fortitude DC. So I guess we go to.
Okay, so you have to critically succeed to restrain. I guess. Yeah, I guess the idea is for him to restrain it, and then I can tie it.
Oh, that's rough.
That's a critical
The answer is
fail.
no.
That's 2 nat ones.
Mm-hmm.
There's the grapple rules.
Yes.
I guess he can try one more time.
Your target can either grab you if it succeeds at using the grapple action against you, or force you to fall and land prone if you critically fail a grapple.
Fortunately, it doesn't really do much since it was kind of trying to like grab something that's waking up. Really can't do much of it. But I'll have another try. I guess got 3 actions. Third action.
It does get the penalty for second action.
Yes. That might be enough to grab it. So it's grab.
Okay.
Snore, what are you doing?
Use Magician's Brick. No, I'm
Restrain.
Shove the paralyzed poison in its mouth.
Oh, true. We still have the meat, don't we?
But, yeah, shove the paralyzed, and you brought it back up. You were dangling it.
Yeah. So basically, so like mechanically to tie someone up, you have to give them the restrained condition.
Can you shove the meat into its mouth?
Actually,
yeah, force feed it.
I'm gonna run up and shove the meat in its mouth.
It is currently grabbed. And not quite conscious. I'd say it's like half penalty unconscious at this point in time.
So basically, we're doing the giving the dog a pill thing, holding the mouth open.
Yeah. Why don't you give me, I guess, an athletics or acrobatics? We'll say, try to get in his mouth. I'll feel if you want to like force it open or just like wait until it opens its weird fang beak and chuck it in there.
I'm thinking Talas can open the mouth. He's grappling.
Well, Talas is already wet, is the thing.
Talas already wet.
Yeah.
Wait a turn.
Well, okay. Well, I guess I'll acrobatics just to try and get it in there quickly.
You gotta have a pretty decent acrobatics, surely.
I do.
That's a pretty good roll. It's a pretty good roll.
It's not bad.
I'm gonna just check over here.
Versus reflex DC or okay.
Alright, I will roll something now. What was the DC for the poison?
Hold on, let me ping it again. There you go.
Oh.
19.
Alright. Oh, it's onset 1 minute though. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have to hold on to it.
Yeah, we can hold it down for a minute. And
Anyway,
I'm gonna drag back a box.
if it comes down to it, just start slamming its head into the ground for a minute.
Just begin an encounter. I am going to add you, but I gotta switch you around. This is not the correct roll. So I add something to this. This is a couple higher. Oh, it's a pretty good roll, though.
Terrible.
I need a roll from Talas and Umbrin. You could roll 2. Maybe they'll. Okay.
Man.
Talas.
As long as it's not another nat one, we'll be okay.
Okay.
Could be worse.
Well, it's going to awaken and be very angry, so, I guess it's just gonna bite a person that's holding on to it 3 times.
That's not good.
I'm just gonna roll some d20s and see what I get. I have to see what numbers those are. So what is Talas's AC?
High. Let me check. His AC is 23.
Oh, wow.
23. Okay, so let me make sure. Alright. So, I got more information.
Yeah, because if he can critically succeed at a grapple check, he can restrain it, which means we tie it up, which will help.
Yeah. He has to stay conscious long enough for that.
Yep.
True that. Okay.
We can try to help him because there's assist actions.
Alright.
Yep.
Alright. Talas will be bitten once. By the horrible savage beak fangs of this thing. It's got like one of those fanged beaks.
Okay. If you basically attempting to do anything with a manipulate action, which I think an attack has, does have the manipulate action.
Not all attacks
true.
do.
DC 5 flat check.
So ranged attacks and actions that specifically have the manipulate trait, like most spells, do require the DC 5.
I feel like some natural attacks don't have.
Yeah,
unarmed attacks. Like most weapon attacks do.
Unarmed attacks do not by base.
I don't think
really?
this would because it's just kind of biting it with its weird beak mouth.
Okay.
You know,
that's what I was wondering about. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, 10 damage to Talas as it'll hit once out of those 3 attacks.
It's not awful.
Snarl. Anyway, Umbrin, you're dragging a box.
Yeah. I guess I'll just double move.
Oh yeah, it's just the strike by default is just the attack action
10, 15, 20.
or attack trait.
There we go.
Alright.
I don't know why I thought it had the manipulate trait. Okay.
Calder.
Does not.
Creature is trying to. It makes no noise. And you just see, like, it turn Talas. The Talas is kind of holding its body. And you can see these kind of, like, hazy, grayed out eyes. They'll just open this kind of, like, weird, drooling mouth with these kind of, like, stained teeth inside of a beak, which is, like, it's something you've probably never seen before. A toothed bird, you know. It is weird. And you just kind of, like, snap down, like, trying to get at Talas and get him once in the shoulder. So you just saw this, like, horrific thing of this creature. And it's trying to move, like, these, like, almost, like, half wing, half claw things, trying to tear out there.
Dude, this place sucks. I'm gonna make a non-lethal shot.
Okay. That will not.
I could hero point that.
Just to note that the Badger's AC is a little different than the Badger's AC too.
Oh, that's true.
Because I don't have the full stats for these things. I have notes.
That's fair.
You might want to hero point it.
Yeah, I'm thinking of... Yeah, I think I will.
Okay.
It's not letting me do it for some reason.
Just roll another main attack. I think, can you? Should be.
I can.
Yeah, just roll another main attack.
Yeah, just minus 2.
I feel like whatever you were using in the other game that allows you to like re-roll with a hero point is a module.
It most likely is.
20 will hit.
Okay. No damage. 12. And I don't do damage unless I crit.
Yep. You have technically 2 more actions then? So.
Alright, I'm going to then stride.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to... Oh, that's a running reload. Apologies. And then I'm going to use an action to go to my melee configuration. And that's all 3.
Okay.
Ooh,
All right.
Mom's not a bad idea.
Talas.
Yep. Sorry, I was just kind of prepping my turn a bit.
I assume Talas is gonna just try to grapple it some more.
I can use so grapple is an attack roll. Or uses an attack roll because it's attack traded. I can use fake out and roll an aid.
Okay.
Using my attack modifier, and because I damaged it, I get a +1.
Okay.
Nice.
So that is a plus because I'm a master +1.
Aid do. All right, it gives you a plus based on your that's critical.
Proficiency with your thing.
Yeah, so DC 15, so that is a critical. So that would be proficiency would be.
Oh, sorry, +3 because I'm a master.
Okay.
Even better.
Athletics check, and it gets a +3. Is it circumstance?
Yes, it would be circumstance. Let's do circumstance.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
So +3 circumstance bonus.
Good. 27 is pretty good. Let us see here. And this is against, was it
Fortitude DC.
Fortitude DC, yeah.
DC. All right. So.
Yeah, that's why I tossed Talas the rope, because if you crit succeed, you can restrain them, which means
all right.
you can either basically pin them.
It will still be grabbed, but it won't be crit succeed. Unfortunately.
Oh man.
So I feel like what would he do for his other actions? Because I feel like it's not worth trying again, because it's just gonna basically make it possible to critically fail.
Yeah, you get diminishing returns.
Yeah. Tell us the stuff.
Well, if he still has a hand on the weapon, he can just try and make some non-lethal strikes and try and get some damage off.
That works. Also, he should have probably used Iron Command on his, but whatever.
Oh, yeah.
What about Demoralize?
Oh, true.
Oh, yeah. Let's do a Demoralize. Demoralize. Intimidate. Okay.
Wait. So.
I think that's versus Will DC.
It is against its will DC. It seems unaffected.
Okay. Honestly, that was a pretty bad roll.
It was worth a shot.
One more action, I guess. Are you taking that strike then? Or
yeah.
so I believe would count as a second attack because you already got one into the wrap.
Would attack and then non-lethal. It was a -2, right?
Yes. 19. It is off guard because it is grappled, so that would hit.
Okay.
What's that?
A little more damage, a little bit more damage. Okay. Ixbanor.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna try and glue bomb it. I just let me look up how. Well, click this and see what it says.
All right.
On hit, -15 foot speed for 1 minute. Critical hit 1 minute, and immobilize for 1 round.
Well, you would technically be critting it because it's off guard.
Nice.
So I draw that and throw it. Honestly, I take a step back.
So it's currently
Mobilized.
immobilized. Not that it already wasn't immobilized, but now it doesn't need to maintain a grapple to keep it immobilized.
Yeah, well now it can't even attempt to escape an escape action on its turn, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Alright.
That's it, because I had to draw, strike, and then...
Its turn. I guess it's just gonna maul the crap out of, Talas. Who's right there. Again. Let's roll 3d20 and see what we roll.
Can it do that with immobilize? Oh, yeah, immobilize is just no movement.
Yes, it is off guard, which gives it a penalty. What was Talas's AC?
I don't think off guard gives you a penalty to attack.
23. It does not.
23. Okay. Then... it will hit once. Its first hit.
Tell us
As it's going to keep mauling at Talas for 8 damage.
Did we apply the damage last time? Did anyone apply the damage last time?
I don't know if you did or not.
I did not.
It did not, no.
Hold on, let me scroll.
We can go up and see what it is. It was
10.
10.
Okay.
I am going to move there.
Mm-hmm.
1.
I can't non-lethally attack it, but I can try to at least do some damage, and even if it would drop it below 0, we just go unconscious because it's the non-lethal damage. So I'm going to cast Divine Lance.
Okay. $18 will not hit.
Okay.
Damn.
Well,
You have now discovered, while it's off guard, 19 is his AC.
oh well.
That's
I
it.
tried, and the box is closer, so.
Calder. This thing is like just trying to like chew on Talos, as it's like now like even more struggling to get out. Like it's covered in glue. You can just see like it's trying to like struggle all of its limbs to get out, and just then kind of like biting down and biting down.
Alright. We'll use an interact and go back to ranged. Because that gives me similar to hit. Yeah. Take another -2 for non-lethal.
Good. We'll hit that. Hey, that 19. Alright. 11 damage. It is still moving around.
And I'll reload. So I can give someone another fake out if they're gonna try
Talos can try to grapple it again.
true. It's only immobilized for the round. Yeah.
Does that give a bonus?
Off guard, it does not take a penalty to its fortitude.
Well, I was looking for immobilized, but now it's...
Oh, immobilized. Oh, sorry. Yeah. But no.
It does not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's technically
I will
part
roll
of
my-
the grappling is making it.
Yep.
Yeah, but I will roll my aid here as my
Oh, yeah.
reaction.
So
For
you hit it will hit the aid, but it won't be the critical.
Yeah, so
No,
it'll be a
yeah,
+1.
+1.
Okay.
Yeah, still better than nothing.
Hey,
Yeah, true. That +1 could always matter.
True. A 31 will indeed be a critical success.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
Restrained.
It is now restrained and tied, and the DC now the DC to escape is it can take a step back, and the DC to escape should be 31. I think. Let me check how
No,
that
it's
works.
versus the fortitude DC of whoever is restraining them.
Got it. So it's against the fortitude DC of Talas.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Does he want to do anything else against this thing?
Which is 21, which is still pretty good.
Hit it a couple times.
Oh, sorry. Athletics DC, not fortitude. Slightly different.
Oh, okay. That is actually, I think, better.
So his athletics DC would be 23, Talas. Because it's
No,
your modifier
20
plus 10
22
is the DC.
It's 22, and that because I had the +1 from the aid. So.
Oh, right. Sorry, yeah, 22.
Talas
He could,
hit it a couple times.
yeah, just make some non-lethal swings. There's
Yeah.
no penalty to missing, really. He's
Yes,
already got it restrained.
Yeah. Take a couple swings, press smack 2 times.
Do actions. That.
Ooh.
Oh, 2?
Does it get any penalties from being restrained?
It's still off guard. It doesn't get any worse penalties than it had before.
Yeah, I think restraint just makes you off guard.
Yeah.
But that'll hit.
Okay.
Off guard immobilized, and the only
yeah,
actions it can
restrained-
take are to escape.
Yeah. And restrained makes it so it's off guard, immobilized, and can't use any attack or manipulate actions except to escape or force
Yeah.
open your bonds.
Well, that's good.
So you hit it for some damage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty decent.
We'll do another non-lethal.
Final attack of the round.
Okay.
Nope. Alright,
Yeah,
Ixbanor, what are you doing?
So now I'm going to come over here. Oh no, sorry, come over here. And then I'm going to, just in case, just to be safe, we're gonna cast this on Talas.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Alright. So it is just going to try to break bonds. What is that as an action? And I need to look up that stuff. Did they send it
Escape
around?
Is you can make an athletics or acrobatics check or an unarmed strike, contesting the athletics DC of the creature that has you grappled or restrained.
Which is 22.
Yes.
Roll some
It is still
there.
attack traded, so he takes map every time. And if he ever critically fails an attempt, he is no longer allowed to try and escape for the rest of the turn.
Okay. Alright. So, second attempt, he will manage to rile free. Is it just trying to bite Talas then? Snarl? Alright, nat 20.
Man.
Let me
Well,
just roll.
5% miss. Yeah, DC 5 miss for potential miss.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
It's not nothing.
Because concealed.
Ah,
True.
okay.
It was worth a shot. Concealed has saved me so many times.
Anyway, I'm just going to roll 25 damage.
Oh my lord.
That
How
is
is
the critical.
Talas?
That is the
Bad.
critical, right? So that
Very bad.
right?
That
I
is
don't
the crit-
double that.
you don't double that. I rolled the crit.
Yeah. Okay.
Umbrin. The thing just, was in ropes,
Oh.
but you just see it, it just kind of burst out and just, grab Talas in the neck, and it's just, kind of, stuck on there right now.
Fine.
It's kind of
We just
it's
got-
kind of long, kind of bird neck, kind of bursting out as it kind of also kind of struggles out. It still seems to be kind of struggling because it's still in glue and stuff, but it's kind of the glue isn't so solid it can't move around.
Oh, I'm going to try to Divine Lance it again.
Ixbanor already fed it the meat. We just gotta hold out a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful. Divine Lance is not non-lethal.
Yes.
I know, but
Mhm.
even if it does damage to it, as long as it doesn't outright kill it, it
True.
would just go unconscious.
Anyway.
So I think
Okay.
a 26 hits.
Oh yeah, no, it does.
I don't have any non-lethal spells, so
No,
Well-
that's fair.
5 is pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just means that's why spellcasters
it is-
really have to be careful. And
it is
first
still
to
up.
go.
Yeah. I'm just trying to add to it getting closer
You
to being
did
unconscious.
add some damage, and you didn't kill it. Because traditionally, most times you drop it to 0, it kills it normally.
Yeah. It dies if it goes to 0. If the last thing to hit it was not non-lethal.
Well,
Yeah.
I
It's not
rolled shit for
PCs.
damage, so...
Yes,
Yeah.
you actually could have killed it with there. I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, Calder,
Really? With 4d4.
it's pretty low health. It's been the
True,
shit
we-
beat out of it.
True.
This thing isn't like super difficult. It's more powerful than the Badger, but not by like a couple. It's only like a couple of levels higher. Than Badger's normally like level 1 or something or 2.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Non-lethal attack, ranged.
God, I rolled a 1, 1, 2, 1.
Well, you
That
will
was
be
not bad.
criticalling it.
I think it's unconscious.
It very well might be conscious. It is unconscious. You basically probably do it in such a way that you I don't know how you're doing this to knock it out. You're probably doing something like this. You're blasting it in such a way that just flunks it and knocks it out. The creature stops moving. As you see the eyes roll back in the head, the mouth will continue to try to chew on Talas for a couple seconds as he pulls it off. As it's still making bites, as it's now the rest of its body's gone limp, but its mouth is just still snap, 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 snap.
Well, I have the box here in the doorway.
Just gonna shoot it in the leg and make sure it goes unconscious from shock and blood loss.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well. Well, let's fit him in the box. I'll
Alright.
start dragging him over.
You will be able to. You'll probably have to clear some. It'll take some time if you clear some glue off and stuff like that, but eventually you'll be able to squeeze it into the box.
Yeah.
Empty the current.
And then, where do we got that, resin, was it?
Ixbanor has the resin.
So, here is the question. How are you doing this? You will recall the things sealed in resin had stuff done to them to allow them to survive it.
We can do it where the head is still poking out now.
It does have a bird neck. It's a little longer.
Oh,
Because it is a weird bird
Well, we
hybrid.
could take it in the box to that room and see if we can figure out how to preserve it now that we
Do
have it
you
unconscious.
have surgical tools and are masters of dissection?
No.
No.
Then the answer is no. Remember when I told you you saw those bodies? They did not do pleasant things to keep these people alive in the resin to them.
I think the current play would be... By the way, if you're talking, you're muted, Wyrm.
I am. Okay, yeah, I gave Talas the... basically all I said was I gave Talas the potion.
But our bet would probably be to cover it in resin up to its neck, or as far as we could get. And every time it wakes back up, we just beat the fuck out of it.
Well,
I mean,
I also have an idea of, does the box have a lid?
yes, it would have been a crate.
Well,
No.
we
Oh.
put the lid back on, and I'm sure there was chains that were used for the wench.
Mm-hmm.
Chain the lid down, put chains around the box to keep the lid down as best as possible.
This thing is pretty strong. I'm not sure that's the best idea.
Well, it's a good
Well, I think the
preventative
idea-
measure,
okay,
and
so
there's
here's what
more
I think
of
the
us than
idea
there are
is.
of it.
Probably break a little bit of a hole to get head out through the lid. Put the lid on top of it. Fill the thing with resin. Chain up the box, so now it's in resin, in a box, in chains, with only its head sticking out.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, it probably can't escape that. I think you got it.
The resin,
It may wake up and be very angry, and its head will just be there snapping with its horrific, toothed beak. Just think about, if you ever see those, old prehistoric pictures of the toothed birds, and they're just kind of weird and disturbing. That's kind of what this looks like.
You mean a goose?
Goose, prehistoric tooth birds.
No. Goose mouths have teeth.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm aware. The farm
Yeah,
had some when I was
people
growing
who
up.
could, crafted stuff. Could we possibly add some kind of wheels to the box to make it easy that we could just pull?
Do you
it along
have
without being close to it?
wheels?
Okay.
Well, if you can.
Well, no, I
lead-
meant could could we craft some or something? Is what I.
If you
meant.
could lead me to, if there's some materials lying around here, and I throw something
There's
together.
more wooden boxes.
There's a bunch of other wood.
I'll see what I can do.
I mean, they don't have to be great wheels, just enough to,
Yeah,
you know.
just enough to wheel it, roll it around, so we're not lugging this thing.
Yeah,
Well,
we've been
also, so we're not being close to the head.
Oh,
with
also true.
carrying it.
been over this room where all the basically where all the supplies
supplies
were for.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Creatures.
I actually will also go down there, and I'm just gonna look. Do they have a dolly?
No.
Okay.
Damn. No.
They
Right.
probably just
Medieval
use brute
dollies are.
strength.
What are we working
It
with?
probably was something equivalent to it.
It would
but
be
they
like
probably-
it'd probably be like a sled, basically,
Yeah.
with wheels on the bottom.
Yeah.
That you can put it on. It would be like a flatbed cart.
Yeah.
They could have had something like that back then, or a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
But in this case, they just picked up boxes and barrels and moved it in here. Those people that were looking after the animals that you murdered. I mean, dispatched. Totally just were carrying things in here.
But that's why I'm like, there's extra wood. Maybe you can create some kind of.
Roll me a crafting check. If someone wants to try to improvise something at least half decent for materials like that.
Yeah, I gotcha.
You guys probably could assist each other, and whoever's doing it, if you're doing it,
Anyway, I
First recorded use of them was the 1700s.
Calder, if you're doing it, I'll guidance you.
Later than I thought.
I would appreciate it.
Sure.
Usually it was just, man, do that. And they didn't really care
Yep.
about it being easy.
Guidance.
Thank you. I mean, if there is wood, I have tools with me. They
Okay.
wouldn't be fantastic, but I could cut circles out of loose wood, fit
Yeah.
rods and dowels between them, and make a
Yeah.
really, really crappy cart.
It won't be great, but it'll be enough to try to push it around, and it's more than just dragging.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's better. Then we don't have to be that close
Yeah,
to the
you-
head.
yeah.
The main thing I'm thinking of is we don't want.
That's
the
a
head
pretty good
snapping at
craft
us.
check. Awesome. You
I'll
will be able to
see
put
what I-
something that will work. It's not going to be great.
Also,
it's not going to be
also
like
Talas is basically just going to spend the time refocusing while we do that, so he
That's
can
fair.
cast. So
I
he can heal
will
himself.
need a round of fort saves from everyone.
Fair enough.
Lay on hands, someone again.
27.
Himself probably.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
doing it on himself.
Calder, so far you have made it.
Cool.
Now I will.
Fort save from everybody else too.
Umbrin, you got a 20.
rolled mine, yeah.
Alice got a 31. Nice.
Nice.
And now from me.
Umber got 20. That's good.
I believe in the sorcerer
Let's
having a
So-
fortitude save.
So,
Go!
I don't know how low you can go. You are enfeebled 5.
Can we get much higher? So high.
As long as you are in this place, you are enfeebled 5.
It's fine. He can stay on my shoulder for a while.
I'll carry
I
it.
don't know how many times you can fail things and drop this number.
Hold on. Let me see what's the minimum.
I mean, is there a maximum? to
There is no
condition?
maximum enfeebled, I'm afraid.
It is just
Yeah.
penalties to doing physical things.
Yeah,
Um,
penalties
I mean-
are almost always infinitely stacking and compilable.
That's
Hold on, I'm just.
It
yeah,
is
I'm just
very
gonna-
funny.
Ixbanor just is probably lying on someone's shoulder, be like, ah.
I'll have my
Yeah,
bat
okay.
carry him.
Does he always look like this?
My
This
bat
fog
will
is
carry
getting
him
to me.
around. You'll be flying now.
This place is a cancer.
I mean, the rest of you don't have penalties, but you definitely can tell, this place is just kind
Well,
of...
I'm enfeebled. I'm enfeebled 1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're all,
same.
Yeah,
all,
we're
all
all
the rest of you.
enfeebled.
All the rest of you
Some of
are
us.
enfeebled.
Some of us more than others.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got. You failed one save.
Oh,
Yeah, you failed
yeah,
one
the
save
second-
earlier.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Me and
you
Talas are
you
the only
failed
ones to have
one.
consistently succeeded.
I fail. I think I critically failed twice.
Jesus.
Yeah. Now we need
Yeah.
to find a way out of here.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, we're already halfway there.
You have a crate on some, primitive wheels that you can kind of pull around this place.
Let's
What's the
just
plan
not
to escape?
just not get too close to it. Remind
probably
me again.
unconscious for
How
a
did
while.
how did you guys get out last time?
The way we came in.
No,
Which is no longer an option. Oh. No,
You-
that's how we got out.
you got out.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what he said. How did you
Alright.
get out last time?
yeah.
I said the way we came in.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
referring
I
to like
must have-
referring to like
The way
today.
we came in
Yeah.
was a slide.
The body shoot.
It is indeed
Yeah.
a body shoot.
Yeah, well.
I don't know how practical that's going to be. And if that's even an option, because it was something that got triggered, it probably closes itself up.
And it was it was pretty slick.
Yeah.
Well, we could look around, maybe find a secret exit, or worst comes
only
to
other
worst,
thing was
start
the
smashing
portal.
walls.
There is a screaming black portal into the void.
Right.
Yeah, which I
Let's-
really
Well,
would not want
you
to
actually don't
use.
know if it's still there, but it was there.
We could go
Yes.
investigate. Having all the
Even
information
if it is
available.
there,
would
I
be
don't
good.
know if we want to use it.
Probably not, but I fell like that's something that we should confirm. That doesn't seem like something we should just gloss over.
Actually, wait, no, I'll leave the badger on the board. I'll
Follow
just wheel the
me.
badger. I'll just wheel the badger around for you guys.
Fair enough.
I just imagine the wheels because they're pretty well made, but they're still not like great made. They squeaka, squeaka.
I will use one of my 8 pints of oil and grease the wheels.
Aw.
Every
Yeah.
every good craftsman carries at least 1.5 gallons of oil with them. It's just standard practice.
I like squeaky wheels.
I also have oil. If I could be bothered to pull it out of my bag.
Door.
Alright.
There
Alright,
we go.
So
there
I do want to
still
point
is-
out, like if you consider it enfeebled as like a penalty to strength, which it kind of is,
Oh,
my
it is.
strength is effectively -5, which is the minimum.
Let's go!
So,
God.
as I described it before,
It doesn't work the
this
same in this game.
back wall of this chamber, so basically the wall on this side, is just portal. It is this black wall that just seems to kind of almost swirl like it's liquid, except it's on the wall, and it seems made of shadows.
Wow. You weren't joking.
Yeah. And we have no idea how this exactly works.
It's just
It's
Here.
tied to my people's home plane somehow.
Did anyone think to bring a pickaxe?
I got my hammer. It's really the best we got. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna reach into my rations and pull out like a dried banana slice, and I'm gonna throw it into the portal.
It hits like impacting water, so it kind of ripples for a second and then disappears into there.
Well, that's certainly something.
Yes. That unfortunately doesn't tell us where it goes.
No. You know, we do have other. No, we've already used up our resin. Damn. All right, never mind. I was gonna suggest we shove the badger through, but oh well.
Oh, I can actually remove the resin from my inventory.
You did use the resin.
Yeah. See, if I had
my
known
bag of
about
holding
the
is now no longer close to bursting.
if I had known about the nightmare hell portal before, we could have experimented a bit. Oh well.
It is a nightmare hell portal. You are not wrong.
How else am I going to describe it?
Well, while you're thinking about what to do with the nightmare hell portal, perhaps we can take our break now. It's about time for that. I can get
Yeah,
more
fair.
drink. So, be a snack, drink, or bathroom break. Go ahead and take care of those, and we'll be back in a little bit to continue and figuring out if you're going to use the nightmare hell portal or come up with a better idea.
I'm
idea?
very tempted.
The only other option would be to try to dig our way out.
There's digging your way out, trying to go up a slippery flesh suit, That's probably most slippery at the bottom, but it is also like made to slide things
could
down.
be closed off and with no way to open it from the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
I mean, if I got up there, if it is a mechanism, I would have the greatest chance of dismantling it.
The thing is, it is like a 200-foot chute.
Oh,
So
wow, that's a lot deeper than I
Yeah.
thought it was.
Yeah.
it was a pretty big chute.
Also, you also have a ferret who's at this point a wet noodle.
True. How much rope do we got? yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Alright. I will return us to adventure. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our little break there.
The only other thing I could say with the portal is we could scour the guy's library and see if there's any information
That's not a bad idea.
on this. I mean, I know we roughly looked through the library and took books we thought would be useful, but we didn't, stay in there a long time through.
True.
A more thorough search would be nice.
If you want to make a more thorough search of the library and his chambers, I will allow you to do so. You can make me all a perception check, but I will also, again, need a round of fortitude saves. You're going to be here for a while.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what I just... Oh, yeah. Okay. Just
21.
thought about that.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Well, I think I
Ixbanor.
make it this time.
Ixbanor,
Oh,
I
no.
really don't want to tell you this, but I'm going to have to
Please.
tell you this.
Increase
I
by one?
might be
Got
able
it.
to do
Increase by one.
something I just thought of.
Spare him.
Give me...
You know what?
Oh, no.
I just realized climbing is an athletics check. Therefore,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think I'd make it up the chute.
I'm just going to roll for Talos.
Let me just double check
Oh,
something.
sorry, I forgot to roll for him.
Talos will fail this.
Oh, wow.
Talos will go up to 2. Where's Talos' cat?
I did it.
I got it. Cool.
Let me look at something.
If you didn't shut off the thing in the room, the DC would have been getting worse. It just remains the same now.
Yeah.
That was a good idea. It would have slowly but surely been getting worse in here.
Could the enfeeblement be reduced or removed by treat disease or treat poison?
Interesting. What would that say for that?
Well, I have. Let me see if
I think it's I think treating poison is counteracting, or
Yeah, let me see if I can ping this here, because I have. No, let's delete and edit.
Well, the issue with treat disease as an option is treat disease is a downtime activity which takes a minimum of 8 hours.
Yeah.
Treat
Okay.
poison, I think, might be.
I would say.
Oh wait, are you thinking of treat condition?
Well, I have crystal healing and natural medicine. With crystal healing, I can treat disease or treat poison, and natural medicine, I can just treat wounds. But I don't have...
So treat poison would give a bonus in the next save. I think that could apply here.
Yeah.
It would just give a bonus in the next save.
Unfortunately, the only way to remove conditions like that with
is the
medicine.
one spell I had, but I switched out for today.
Well, there's a
Yeah.
feat. It's called treat condition. You get it from
Right.
medic dedication at 4th level.
But I also had a spell that I switched out that I could have been helpful with that.
Well, you didn't know that
Yeah.
this place would basically effectively be poisoning you as long as you're here.
Because
Yeah.
cleanse affliction.
Oh, yeah, that would be pretty good. But
I'd have
Yeah.
to do a complete rest.
I mean, for now, the noodle is draped over the Talas.
Okay, so I did the fort. We need, you said perception?
Actually, perception would work, I guess, if you want to, but I'd also accept, like, a vault. like
I
one of
could
the
do occultism. I could do.
Arcana or occultism would probably work best. There probably
I
isn't
could
a lot
also
of
do
defined-
religion.
Yeah, but there probably isn't a lot of religious techniques. So I'd try
Okay.
occult or arcane arcana would work for that.
I'll try some. No, that's a shit roll.
Are there
And that would be
any?
over in this chamber.
I was just trying to avoid having to, because you can't. Unlike roll 20, you can't just pick up and move tokens.
Yeah.
That's fine. You don't have to
Yeah.
do tokens. I'm just pointing
Are
out
there-
what you're saying.
Any alchemical formularies in this library?
Ooh.
I'm only casting it at level 1. because I'm
Not
third level
in
spell slot.
this area. Not in the library. Because basically there was 3 rooms. There was this large room, which was the alchemical lab here, where you fought creatures. The lab's a little beat up now because of the entire, fight creatures, and it did look like a bunch of stuff was removed. Not everything. These were the personal quarters of whoever was in charge here, and this was his personal library. There was also a communication device that required 3 emeralds over here. I don't know if you still have those emeralds.
Oh,
You may have sold those.
I have.
You could
Because I
use the
can use it for
communication
crystal
device
healing.
too.
Help
If
us.
you wanted.
Send
Yeah,
help.
but we think that actually communicates to the leader of this place, which we do not want to do.
Ooh.
Call the boss of this place who's
Um,
broken into and stealing a weird badger cheat.
Could I retro one thing?
Sure,
Possibly.
maybe.
Could I have stuck the tentacle in the box when we did the resin?
Sure.
Oh, to
Make
preserve
sure
it as
that
well.
gets preserved. Yeah, because once it defrosts, it's going to start rotting, and it
true.
wouldn't be
is-
as useful.
Some other kind of creature. That was one of the experiments here. Yes,
I
yeah.
figured it's worth having to possibly do any tests on. So
Honestly,
it's just
not
like,
a bad idea. It's a second. It's again similar technology, but a different app. Probably even a different application than like what you're looking for. But with enough samples, we can figure something out.
That's why I was just like, hey, it might be worth taking a piece of it.
What's up?
Can I go inspect that workshop then, or that
Sure.
lab area for alchemical text?
That should have been +1. I forgot to hit add.
That's fine.
29. Nice.
What exact information are you trying to find here?
Just
Any...
anything about how the portal works is my thought.
I'll give it a second then. Why don't you give me your perception in the laboratory then? If you're going to search the lab. Okay, so we'll start with Calder. So you don't necessarily find any major formulas, but I can tell you, effectively, if you're looking for alchemical formulas, there's probably a few basic ones you can find paperwork for that are still left behind here. If it matters what it is, if you can learn it or something, we can talk about it, but that would be kind of like level 1 things and stuff like that. Some basic, information that's left behind. Nothing of really value. Now, the thing is, you can look through here and see that, yes, a lot of the more major reagents and materials seem to have taken from the lab. Someone did kind of take things, along with a bunch of stuff being destroyed when you're battled the giant beasts. But there are a few places that are not damaged or rummaged around. There is some basic lab material here, so if you needed to use a better alchemical lab, you effectively could in this place. And a bunch of preserved specimens have still been left behind. There was a table filled with pieces and things of beings. A bunch of which seemed to be humanoid, kept in, preserve jars. So, if you wanted a third sample of something that might be related to your experiment, granted, it's from an old experiment and it is in preserves, so it's probably not as good, you could grab one of those that you think might be related to this. Honestly, because you are assembling multiple samples.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Makes sense.
Could make a good control group, I suppose.
Yeah. You take, what looks to be, unfortunately, some partially mutated humanoid head in a jar, and it's just this is really disturbing, but I'm sorry, dude, you might be able to help us figure out something about what they were trying to do to you.
Sorry, man. Your head's getting used for a good cause, I swear.
You can go put it
it's
next to,
already dead, so,
Uh-huh. So you're pretty sure,
Also,
as you're like holding it, the one eyeball almost feels like it's following you, but you're not sure if that actually is true or if it's just jostling as you're moving it. Which is also disturbing.
This place is doing things.
Also, researching in the library with me and Talas is basically me saying, grab that book. Okay, turn page. Turn
'Cause you
page.
can't move.
No, don't need that one.
So the exact nature of the portal seems to be eluded in these books, but there is enough information to give you a basic idea. What you can kind of glean from the information here, combined with what your previous knowledge is you believe that the portal itself is basically functioning similar to... I don't know if 2E has a similar thing to, like, a shadow walk.
With him learning this and probably sharing the information, can I try to make a Planar Rift lore skill and see if I can figure anything more out?
Sure, you can roll that too. That's a good one. Definitely want that.
Come on. Oh, got a 2. God
Unfortunately, you're not picking up anything extra. The thing is,
yeah.
you're fairly certain the nature of this rift here is a little different than what you're learning about here. What you think is going on, just by reading up on it and from your previous studies on the magic of the portal, it must be more than just one pathway. So it's like you're going to enter like almost like a network of roads. But the problem is like you're not necessarily knowing where each road will go to very easily, unless there's markers in there, which you've never been to this plane, so you don't know. But theoretically, you could find a way to navigate it. It's not impossible. It would be a challenge. Unless you get lucky. But basically, you can probably take a few books with you that might help in that case. You roll pretty well. Like, if you find some stuff in there, you could cross-reference some of the information you have. So it's no longer, like, impossible. It's difficult. Still.
Yeah, so it seems the only options we really have is way out or use the portal.
Right.
Because I don't think there's any way we're taking a box up a chute.
And we still have no idea what's on the other side.
Well, it would be navigating through it is the thing to somewhere. It could have multiple exits. We don't know where the exits are. I mean, my planar lore might help us with navigating it. I don't know.
It's kind of like that thing is, it's not that you failed necessarily, it's sort of like, you're reading up on this and you're like, I've learned some things, but it's sort of like, I can't tell from this side. Kind of
right,
thing.
that's what I'm saying. Once we're in, I might be able to do another planar lore to try to figure out navigating it, but I don't know.
Yeah, supposedly, you'd want to have markers. We can hope that their markers would be apparent, you know? What it works like? Bloody entrails and pig guts?
House will probably tell you that's racist. Also, they don't have orcs, and he says that's also more racist. I don't know. Are you gonna take a plunge, or...?
Would love to get out of here. I'm not feeling so hot, Mr. Stark.
I don't think any of us like this, so...
Oh, well.
I agree we need to get out of here. Do we take the question mark, or do we try to dig our way out, which is going to take a long time?
Unfortunately, trying to smash our way several feet of solid stone and earth is going to take days.
Solid.
Well, we all get
if not
weaker and
weeks.
weaker.
Yeah. We're on a bit of a time crunch, I'm afraid, so...
And it's not like
Looks
we
like
can
the
really
Hell
rest
Nightmare
here.
Bastard Portal is our best bet.
Okay.
No, I'll see you all on the other side then.
I just want to do this just because I'm curious.
to... This is
I'm
currently my
going to
athletics
say
roll
this
if I were to
before
try to roll out. Or climb
Before
out.
anyone steps out
What
into
a
the
minus
portal,
6.
I don't know how well this is going to work, but oh god damn it! Stuck it, fucking wall. Go shadow.
I wonder if there's a setting that lets us go through walls. That would be convenient just for the, but then also that would be problematic at times.
Yeah.
I'm
Then
going
again,
to.
with these walls, probably not a big deal.
I'm going to share senses with Shadow
Mm-hmm.
and have it enter the portal.
Okay. You will no longer be able to sense shadow.
Okay, well, that
Do
didn't
we
work.
see it on the other side of the ripples?
No.
Well, can you try recalling him?
I can't speak to him anymore, I would think.
Well, don't worry, I have a plan. I'm gonna grab the chain we're using to pull the cart, and I'm going to kick the cart through.
Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna move you over here as I try to.
I'm just gonna step through.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna leave Shadow, a piece of me, basically, by
Yeah.
itself.
There you go. Let's zoom in there a little bit there. Hey, there you go. Anyway, this doesn't necessarily represent it perfectly, but does kind of give you an idea. The twisted
let me-
floating roads.
You have
Uh,
to. Okay, you're gonna have to put our token on the map.
Sorry, I forget I turn off
Yeah,
the
we
fog.
see black.
Oh. Well, okay.
Or can we put our token on the map?
There, is that you see it now?
Nope.
I see nothing. I'll try to move myself onto the map. Oh, now I see it.
There you go.
There we go.
I just trying to figure out these things sometimes, you know, and setting this stuff up here. I always forget to. Anyway, okay. Alright, so,
Wow, you made this.
is it? Oh, it's really tiny.
Yeah, it's very small.
Oh, God, that wasn't supposed to be. Let's see here.
Into the darkness.
Change the. Yeah, you need to change the grid size, basically.
Yep.
Well, oh, there we
There
go.
we go.
Now you're very tiny and spread out.
That's fine.
There really doesn't need to be a grid there, but now you're on there. Anyway. Alright. So, you will follow Shadow into the glorping, basically, wall of shadows. It is a disconcerting feeling heading through there. It is kind of like just a feeling of like you're diving into ink and the ink is consuming you and all light and all life, and it feels like it's heaviness all around you, as if you're suffocating for just a brief moment before you emerge in a twisted realm of strange spires and darkness and paths. Out of a kind of black, swirling portal set into these massive, what looks like tree structure, where a road kind of like a pathway kind of goes out of it. Shadow is now gonna kind of latch onto you as you kind of come out there, and for a second your two senses kind of collide with each other as you had been trying to share senses when you went in there. So it's just kind of like a thwomp to your face. You're like, oh crap, whoa. Almost double vision for just a second.
I'll absorb him back in for now.
Yeah. As you look below you, the path, it goes off into infinity. You're on a set of almost floating stairs and spires and pathways. And
We're in an MC Escher painting.
yeah, you currently do not see any other of those glowing portals right now at very least, though. like the one that you entered through.
Well, at least we're not being affected by the gas at the moment.
True. Could be
No.
worse. Could be dead. What is this place?
Is it like akin to the Shadow Realm almost?
The Shadow Realm is the Netherworld, technically, so this is effectively Nether.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm kind of home.
Well, you know the way around.
I'm curious.
Never
Do
been
I
here.
start to feel any better?
Slowly but surely,
Got it.
you will recover, but it will take a little bit of time. Technically, I guess I can say everybody could reduce their enfeeblement by automatically 1 for leaving that area. So basically, you will take some more time to recover, and Talas will have more time, since everybody else kept making their saves.
Well, I was at 2, so
Oh, then, yeah.
I'll be at 1.
Talas and Umbrin are at 1, and I am at 5.
Man.
It is actually good that you left there, because you were going to start taking actual damage from that then. It is actually very detrimental to your health, it turns out. Anyway.
Could I try a planar rift knowledge lore again?
Sure.
To get our bearings a little.
Mhm.
Come on, can I roll decently, please?
Alright.
No.
So,
not great.
Unfortunately, you can't quite identify where you are, but there is some basic information that you can identify, especially because you are getting a bonus because your people do traditionally come from the Netherworld. This is not the traditional area of the Netherworld. You think this is like an upper level of it almost, an area outside the normal. The normal Netherworld is almost a shadow of the real world. For your plane, it's a little bit more different and alien than, let's say, Galarian would be, or other realms. But to a degree still, it is a shadow of that realm. Portals to it aren't actually a very natural thing to occur, and is actually a very rare magic. You remember this kind of thing. So this is being a very stable portal. It seems as though the structures you are in are almost an artificial structure, creating a basically network of points. You feel like these trees, cores, are probably marking general areas within reality, but where exactly and how to exactly open a portal, you're not sure.
Could I make an occult check to see if I could think of
There are like,
any way
wait,
to
you said there are
open
like
a
little
portal?
trees that indicate
Think
what
of
worlds are?
columns almost. These columns that look like a combination of like something natural, but it also looks like it's formed. So think of like if you look at the picture that I've showed here, like the colonnade, think about that colonnade design built out of a tree. So it looks like something that's both natural and unnatural at the same time. Very weird. And effectively, like, you emerge from a portal onto like a pathway that then kind of moves onto a little bit of a staircase and then kind of branches off some places and stuff like that.
Could I try
And-
an occultism to figure out if I could figure out how how portals might open?
Sure.
Come on, above a 10.
Thank you. Alright. Certainly
I rolled
speaking,
11.
you think right now you would definitely have to use one of these tree things, and probably a place where one of the passageways moves to it. Though it is a malleable plane in a way, and you are in an area that somebody or something has created within the Nether Realm. It could theoretically be manipulated with a strong enough will, but you might have to face the will of whoever created this in the first place. So it's right now, unfortunately, you kind of are stuck to the places that whoever made this place basically has opened portals to in the past, or could open a portal to, you think? Unless you somehow found a way to overpower their will. Which
I
is
have a question.
kind of difficult.
I'm curious.
If they're just powerful.
like, So did we come out of one of those column trees?
Yes.
It's
still glowing there behind you. You know,
Okay,
where you
so we
came out.
could go back if we needed to.
Mm-hmm. This pathway is not closed.
So the paths just look like they're floating in darkness.
Yes, there's kind of like strange storms and occasional like flashes of what looks to be almost like this kind of purplish black lightning in the clouds around you. But this entire thing is kind of floating, except for these tree columns, which seem to go down indefinitely. It's just the pathways that you're on are suspended between them at this level, and then it just goes on forever, it seems, below you. It, like, disappears out of sight, maybe into the clouds, into nothingness. You do not know how far down it is. You also, with, I'll just tell you, with Joe's planar rift check from before, you're also not sure if it goes anywhere. This could almost be like a subplane of the Nether Realm, and if you would fall, you'd fall out of reality. Possible. Which probably isn't good.
I recommend we actually tie rope to each other. Just in case something happens and one of us slips, we can catch each other.
Well, it's not a bad idea.
You do have a very heavy box on wheels, also.
Yes.
True.
Also, I will note, your strange creature has technically woke up, but does not seem to be aggressive. It's just got its head straight up. It's occasionally opening its mouth, and now its eyes, which have been kind of glazed over, are glowing with a similar purplish-black color to the lightning and the portals.
Should I hit it with the hammer?
It's not doing anything. I think we're okay.
Nah, let's keep an eye on it then. Alright, we gotta find a way.
The thing is, we could, since there's no immediate danger, we could try to kind of camp here, try to get a little bit of rest.
It's not impossible, but it probably would be relatively uncomfortable, as you are on basically 5-foot wide passageways. 5 foot, you know.
I'm not saying it's the greatest place, but
with no
what
handrails.
we just
This place is
been
very.
through.
This place would fail every safety thing, you know.
This looks like the
There's
single.
plenty of room here.
This looks like the single most unsafe place I have ever seen in my life.
This makes I'm telling you, like, because Ixbanor, you were thinking about this. This may explain why this has not been used for major invasions. This is not the kind of thing like a large army could use, but small elite units perhaps could be used to like do very specialized things.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, so is it possible to look for signs of passage?
Ooh. Okay. Sure. You can roll a survival check.
I direct Talas to do so because he
I
actually
can
has
also do it too.
Yeah.
So there you
5 is pretty good. I'll let you roll to
survival.
Umbrin. So you will look.
Yeah, I get plus 11, so
I'm still draped over Talas'
No.
shoulder anyway, so.
not great.
And why can't you roll like this when you attack us on some Sunday?
Yeah.
Alright, Talas can certainly see that there are signs of things that perhaps have been here. Little bits of like dirt and dust that seems to be trapped out of here. Because otherwise, this place is pretty immaculate. There really isn't dirt or dust here. But it does seem like there's signs of things that have come through here. He could probably, generally speaking, follow stuff. So if you wanted to, you could track back to where the forces that were using the base you just did. But if you wanted to follow them back, well.
What do you mean? Like, so you're saying
If we need to get back here.
No,
Okay.
what I'm saying is,
Oh.
if you wanted to leave this place and go somewhere, at least you know a place that you could go to that people would be relatively safe at. AKA, when this place that you just were in, the big alchemical lab, was evacuated, you could follow where those guys went.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we can follow them. The problem is, it probably leads somewhere to, an encampment of theirs or something.
Yeah. Which isn't the best thing.
I know what you're talking about. It's a great idea. You'll perfectly be fine and safe. Don't worry about it. Anyway. If you want to take a rest, I will allow it. If you want to here.
Yeah.
It probably would be best, we could get rid of our condition and regain spells.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, certainly speaking, it does not seem as if anybody is on your area, at very least. But I assume you'll probably have some people take watch.
Yes.
There are some strange things that will occur during your rests. Echoes. Noises that seem to come from somewhere but out of sight, that seem to be almost like voices, but occasionally like they seem voices of another time, another place. Like there's a point, Umbrin, you'll be sitting there listening, and you swear it sounds like Ixbanor talking to you when you first came here, saying some words, and you're like, wait a second, I remember that. That just happened like 2 hours ago. Weird.
Also, guys, if you want, if we feel that we might need to go back in that place, I could prepare to cleanse air for the day.
Hopefully we won't have to go back.
I mean,
Well,
that
if we
actually
can't
might not
figure
be
out
the
a-
worst idea.
If we
Is-
can't figure out a way out of here easily to somewhere safe, and we decide that we want to try to clear the path. Oh, it's only a minute. Never mind. That's not going to be great.
I mean, probably. The place would probably cleanse naturally on its own, but because it is very sealed off, it'll probably take some time.
Yeah, it could create a 30-foot area
Yeah.
for a minute.
I was thinking because you got rid of the source,
well,
but the source was
six-
filling it more and more.
60 if you heighten it.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
I heightened it to third, I can make it 60 feet, but it still only lasts a minute.
You get the feeling that probably the reason behind the thing left behind was basically that if anybody does wander on there, it would be utterly poisoned. You probably interrupted before it was completely filled with it, you know.
Yeah.
It was mildly poisonous to you guys.
I mean, so cleanse air you could actually, because it does clean the air, so you could over a period of time clean the air. It would just take a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's only a minute long, too, so...
Yeah, you basically just want to wander around with it active, clean up the air. Because it doesn't create air, but it will remove toxic pollution.
Yeah.
And the gas probably will eventually settle, and like the poison in the air probably will dissipate out from its creation, but it probably just be, as I said, time consuming. Anyway.
Well, I'm gonna click the long rest button.
Okay. Got some long rests.
Or not long.
Yeah.
Rest for the night.
Yeah, we'll have everyone rest, but then Talas, in theory, can heal up anyone else because...
I mean,
We
in
have
theory, also, you could make medicine checks now to first treat some wounds.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Well, I'm fully healed now.
I mean, Talas and I are not.
Yeah. Oh, actually, wait. Before, damn it, I could have healed everyone a couple more times before we rested.
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Talas can literally just, focus and cast Lay on Hands.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I still had some.
Basically, every time Talas,
It just is 10 minutes between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I could also do the.
Talas can get like 5 extra healing when they're on watch. You can also sit there and just kind of focus and heal up, and then just sit there, and
I could have done this 2 more times, so I'll just say that before I slept for the night.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Talas is back up after 2 healings, and then I get 1 healing, so that's 3. So that's 30 minutes does bring us all up to full. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I figured it was just might as well do it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Actually, are you hurt at all?
Me? No, I'm fine.
No. Last person's name. Calder.
I'm only missing 2 HP.
We could take another 10 minutes and just give you the last Lay on Hands. So just another Lay on Hands. It's basically just that's the big thing about Lay on Hands. It's with Lay on Hands and the fact that it's just a focus spell. Literally, we can heal infinitely as long as we just take a lot of time.
Yeah. It's the same thing with using the medicine check, actually, too.
That's true, yeah, because I think that prevents it for 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Or no, or an hour.
It's like an hour, but you can take a bunch of feats that turn medicine checks into be infinitely.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so you'll rest up. It'll be very disturbing in this place, and probably, I'm not going to lie, all of you will have horrific nightmares. As it feels as the shadows are oozing into your brains. This place sucks.
Would Ixbanor still have some fatigue left, or would that completely go?
No, that would all go away with 8 hours of rest.
I was debating if I needed to take Cleanse Affliction again or not.
Unfortunately, that would be enough time to get it.
I no longer feel like a wet noodle. Just a normal noodle.
You are a noodle, this is true. Great. So, what's your plan then?
Damn it. I did not mean to do that.
That and cover. You feel a lot better than you did just a little bit ago. You do have a path, but you don't necessarily follow that.
You don't want to go where these people went, I don't think.
The question is, how do these portals relate to real space? If we go into that portal over there, is it a relative distance, or is it completely random?
That's what I was trying to figure out with my lore, but I don't know. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you don't know, and currently you really only see, other than the portal you were at, 2 other open portals. Perhaps one is one of the ones that you went to, but you also don't know what necessarily opens them, if presence. There's a lot of questions you don't have answers to.
So I do have the feat that allows me to make Arcana checks in place of other Recall Knowledge skills.
Sure.
So can I roll to see
what you might know? Okay.
Yeah. Let me also give myself
guidance.
I can do something better.
Yeah.
Oh,
wait, no, but guidance is a circumstance, and this is a status, so it actually will stack.
There you go, then. Cast. Ooh, guidance.
Yeah, I actually think it's cool that Pocket Lever status. So, and I'm doing it third for a +2.
Ooh, okay.
So you get +3 total?
Yep. Arcana.
Oh, let me take my status off. log.
Eventually.
There we go. Well,
Okay.
I was just typing in the bonuses.
A 19. Okay.
That is
So-
very bad.
Yeah. Hey. Do you want to use a hero point?
Actually, yes, this is a good time for a hero point.
Yes. You remembered them earlier. This might be a good time to use one of those after rolling a 4.
Well,
A little
I'm just gonna
low.
I'm just gonna say +3 circumstance. We all know what it is.
Okay.
That should be. I forgot to hit add. I did that again.
Okay, so it would be 3 higher, it'd be 21. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Which is still not great.
it's not
Total trash.
great, but it's a lot better than it was, because you at least make the base DC for knowing some things.
Mhm.
So that's good. So, let me think about all you know. Alright. Okay. Here's what you know. These columns, trees, whatever you want to call them, seem to be linked with, maybe not points in the real world, but regions, areas, something like that. Currently, there are portals on very different places, but certainly speaking, you can see paths and staircases that lead to other points that intersect in some of these, and there does not seem to be a portal open. Theoretically, a portal could be open there, maybe? But, again, you're not quite sure how to open a portal. That's something that you can't really recall. Something that Umbrin said the other day, and Umbrin knew, is that strength of will might affect these things. So thinking on that, the one thing that you do realize that the check will tell you is, if you wanted to, one of the current open portals, you could try jumping it. It's open.
Like, but jumping isn't like jumping a car, is what you're.
No, what I mean is moving it.
Oh.
Its
Yeah, that's
position is in region. You could move the entrance. Maybe. It would be difficult to do. Well, you'd have to make like a check and try to overcome it with will, and also maybe either you'd have two choices. You could try to use the strength of will to physically move the staircases to manipulate where it's at. That'd be kind of difficult. You're kind of like thinking about this. You're like, it probably requires a very strong mind, powerful spellcaster to be able to do this kind of thing. As much as you're strong, you think like probably someone on the level of your master would be able to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, that impresses you on how powerful whoever made this was. You could try to move it to somewhere else and then enter the portal. And by mean is like, think about like this picture here. You see that the portal's on the big side and there's nothing going to it?
Uh-huh.
You could move a portal maybe to a different part, like slightly off. You would have to somehow jump or move into it, but it would go to a different spot. Near probably where it was, but not exactly the same spot.
I mean, I could
Right now-
try it. I have a will of a will save of +13.
The one that you exited out of, unfortunately, there really isn't a lot of other easy-to-get-to places on there. Like, you may have to try to, what I'm saying is, your portal that you left from, it might not work as well as some of the other portals, where you could think you could access other angles from other passages on it. One of the other portals in passages. So, you could try it with your portal, but it might require a lot more, air travel to use, the one you exited from. One of the other ones would probably be safer, but then you don't know where it's at. But granted, you could try to... I basically say you could roll either Arcana... And actually, no. Just a will check. A will check versus it. Actually, do I want to do will or do I
Will
want to do...
save.
No. We'll stick with that. We will have you make an Arcana or Occult, but you will have to make a will save to see how well it reacts to you doing it. Basically, one is how well you do it, the other one is maybe manipulating isn't good for your brain. So we'll say it that way.
Try it. I also have a +13 to will.
again,
So
you can
if we
try the
find
one you
portal that
have.
they came. Yeah. So
if you
yeah,
found the one that
try
they,
the-
yeah, if you found the one that they
went
went to, you can
We
maybe
could also
move that
move
one
that one.
slightly.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, they will know it's moved on the other side. They might need to call upon someone to move it back. But it would give you a chance to use it, and they might know somebody did something. Where you would go, they might not be able to tell. But
Yeah.
you basically can get close to where one of the exits is. That might be
Yeah,
the easiest thing to do now, because you don't necessarily know. AKA, no one's rolled a high enough check to figure out how to make a portal on its own.
Yeah. So the safest. So here's my thought: is the safest thing is, and I'd basically be saying this to you guys. The safest thing would be to try and move the portal that we're currently at. We could get extra intel by following where the tracks lead and
The
moving the portal
as
on
I told you,
the
the
side.
portal of current at, it would be safest that it wouldn't be near any enemies. It'd be most dangerous because anywhere you would move it would be very difficult to access.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. Yeah. So it's dangerous to access. Safest on. So basically, most dangerous on this side, safest on the other side. And
Yeah.
if we follow the path, it'll be more dangerous on the other side, but safer on this side.
Talas will kind of look at you and be like, whatever you feel is proper. You think that,
I think being safer on the other side might be better, just because we don't want to pop into an army's encampment. We've been lucky so far with the enemies we've faced, but an entire encampment I don't think we could deal with.
Well, unfortunately, we can't get much work done just floating around in here.
I'm going to ask you one thing, though. Okay. How are you going to get a giant box with a bird in it through a portal that's suspended above the air? I almost forgot about that. You guys getting through it would be difficult. Getting the box through it. I need to figure out what you're going to do that.
True.
A complex system of levers and pulleys.
What are you going to install on what?
We don't have leverage.
Like as I
Not with
said,
that
one,
attitude.
one of the other ones, you could perhaps move it to a point where like another staircase or something is close by enough to squeeze in there, and maybe even get the box in. It would probably still be a little difficult to get the box in, but far easier than like suspending a portal like 5 feet out to the side on this like tree thing and down from where you're at, which is kind of what you're going to have to do. So there isn't going to be like an exact like place to it. You're almost going to have to like leap off the side and somehow enter into it, or swing somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not
So
impossible.
it's like this one kind of isolated. Is that why it's kind of problematic?
Yes.
There aren't any other pathways very close to it.
Yes, it is a little isolated, as if maybe not as much has been built around here. I'll give you, because you had some good checks before, you think that probably the path you're on is one of the newer ones, and perhaps whoever created this hasn't really had a need to make more. If this is a one forward base that has been here for a bit, but probably is relatively new, then yeah, they might not have established a lot more locations and stuff. Since it seems as building and manipulating this region creates more of these passages, no one has.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I can't create, like, I can't mold Earth or something like that.
Mm.
I'm sure it'd work here.
Or create a path or something, you know, in some fashion.
I could create an illusory bridge, and if we believe hard enough, we might be able to cross it.
I don't think
not
so.
even remotely how that works.
I know.
I mean, I could create an illusionary bridge too.
It's impressive how that wasn't even kind of close to the truth.
Hey, the bird monster is like looking at you through the box and shaking its head as if to look down at you.
I think it'll be best. I think we should go to the other side. I feel like the other side of wherever this goes.
The bird monster will now open its mouth, and rather than the weird chirping noise that probably it made earlier, you can hear the screams of the damned coming from its mouth.
Oh, lovely.
Shut up, you.
It's like that is disturbing.
I'll smack it with the hammer. Quiet, we're thinking.
Yeah, I vote head to the portal where the troops went, because wherever that goes, I feel like it'll
If we can open it that it's, a little bit off of that, we might have a chance to skirt them.
Yeah.
Alright.
basically need to get a shift and then run.
Well, I guess I'll give it a shot.
Sure. I will need
I have a decent occultism. I have 11 occultism and 13 will, so I might have the best chance not to be like brain screwed by
How
it.
far away? Wait, how far away is this other portal? Is it like close? Is it like not that far away? The one where the troops went?
It is actually quite far away. Because distance is maddening here, and everything is twisted and in and of itself. It will probably take you like 3 hours, even though you could see it and you thought it was very close. But navigating your way to it takes some time. Concepts of up, down, everything are just feel weird here. You will be able to navigate your way there just with, like, everything feeling confusing and weird, and also, you're pretty sure some of these paths twisted and moved, perhaps while you were moving around them? You're not sure. But you made it there.
Are there also some like MC Escher style junk going on?
Definitely.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well,
so
I'll roll my occultism.
I'll say for nearby to there, like it probably take you like maybe like 15 minutes to navigate. 2. But you think there's another little passageway that if you could try to move the portal there, it would low hour out somewhere you could access it on this tower, You'll have to kind of, as I said, kind of loop around and move to it, where that's at. Roll that occultism check. 28, pretty good. Pretty good check.
Yeah.
All right.
I rolled a 17.
I will need a will save from you.
That I get plus 13 to it.
You say from everyone? No, from him. Okay.
No, from Umbrin. All right. So.
I am going to
good.
use a hero point on that.
Okay.
Because I rolled a 2.
Uh-huh.
And I think I might want to try to not have a 2 on the will save.
I know what you're talking about. That's a great roll. It's a 4.
Oh, a 4 instead.
Alright. So, I will tell you what happens. Umbrin will kind of like basically what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to basically feel the portal without actually entering into it, kind of put your hand on its side, and you're going to try to like feel into the portal and basically use your mind to push it somewhere else. And you will be able to do that. That's the good news is. The bad news is you are going to fall unconscious.
Someone catch me.
Yep, he's dead. Oh well.
I mean,
Not dead.
Save me,
we
you
did
pricks.
we did tie it to each other, so I assume
Yeah, there's a rope around you.
Mhm.
So I'll just reel him in.
Mm-hmm. So, Umbrin seems successful, but Umbrin is basically unconscious now. But Umbrin did move it.
Oh, that's good
Oh.
at least.
Well,
Trickle of blood goes out of my nose.
Mm-hmm.
who wants to go in first? We should probably go quickly.
Yeah. I'll throw Umbrin. I hit him with the hammer again.
Its head kind of goes to the side a little bit and
I
kind of
throw
pops back
Umbrin,
up.
I hit him with the hammer.
No. I hit the bird with the hammer. I put Umbrin over my shoulder and I hop into the portal. It's like,
All right.
Have fun dragging the bird.
Okay.
Talas drags the bird.
Yeah, you'll be able to get it.
That's what Talas's job is.
Umbrin.
He's on bird duty.
Yeah.
So Umbrin, as you kind of touch the portal and move it, and you can feel it moving, it feels as though you fall back, and you fall into nothingness, and you fall for quite a while until you almost hit what feels like water and splash into it. It surrounds you and kind of chokes you out. But eventually you kind of come to feel like you fall flat, like you're at the bottom of an ocean, except you can breathe. And it's just darkness, and there's nothing there.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Like, your eyes feel like they see nothing at first, but they kind of begin to kind of adjust. You kind of can almost see the outlines of yourself, and maybe the ground around you. There's something off in the distance. Kind of strange black and purple glow. It reminds you of the portals off in the distance.
I'll try to stand up.
You kind of can wobble, and again, everything feels heavy, like you're at the bottom of the water, like you're underwater. Like you move slowly, you're just kind of splashing through stuff.
And I guess I'll start heading towards the purple light.
As the only thing in your purview that seems like a marker, you head towards this purple glow deep within it. It seems to grow brighter and brighter as you approach it until it engulfs you, and you feel like you're falling again. And once again, you find yourself kind of landing on ground. This time, everything feels light, as if you're still floating, even though your feet are on the ground.
I'll look
A
around.
fascinating one. Should I dissect it? Its brain perhaps will tell me something. No. Now it's just to eat it. It is nothing important.
Do
You
I
speak of
see
things.
what's...
Everything is still bright, but there are these shadowy figures that seem to loom over you with massive size. Like they are colossal. You know, far larger than you. There seems to be a number of them that are just looming over you. Maybe half a dozen. Each one seemingly having a different voice that seems to echo throughout your mind. You speak of such droll things. It's tapped into here for some reason. But perhaps then, this is good. We know they have no strength. Tell us, Liminal, why have you not survived? Death is just a gift to you.
It is not my time to die.
Sucks. Small. No. Umbrin Wyspark. Child of the name. Is that how you come to find us? A piece of your soul reaches. Wyspark. You have a chance. As a child, your people have suffered. You can perhaps do something that your kin cannot build. Hold that shit.
I'll hold my hand out.
Well, so you're willing to listen, willing to speak. I'm impressed. Fine. You will have an option. Come find me. Come find me and your life will be spared. I cannot guarantee the rest.
Where do I start?
Where do you start? Do you know who we are?
was that?
Do you know who we are?
Not entirely.
Interesting. I don't quite understand what you've tapped into. Don't you feel the tremors of the earth, the rise of the sun, the burn?
I
The
feel
land
something.
has...
Oh, sorry.
You, don't you? The land has for so long cried out under the weight of those that have ruled, both physically and spiritually. The old gods, your gods, slaughtered those that came before them, the grand creators. They scream for justice, just as so many do. And this justice comes in the form of pain and suffering that is being dealt upon so many. It did not need to be this way. But so many chose violence and anger and hatred. And so it has been responded in kind. The rot has been coming forth. The rot that has been long since hidden. I'm sure you've been feeling it in your bones. The earth cracks out. It seems like you'll need another push to make a decision. Whose side are you really on? Are the people you try to protect really deserving? I will not argue that perhaps there are innocents that will be lost in this entire thing. Innocents are always lost. But you, perhaps you can make a better choice.
Blood has been spilt on both sides. I think the people of this world have learned a lesson. Maybe there could be an equalization, a peace made, before everything has to be torn.
You still have hope. Is that
As long as there's breath in my lungs, there's always hope for change.
Truly great, truly adorable. Nonetheless, it does not mean that there is more. So, your city will fall. That cannot be changed. First, blood must be dealt. But maybe you can find something in a hint deep below the ground. Deep below it. It calls. Perhaps you too can hear that it burrows in the deep. A new voice for you to hear. Perhaps if you listen to it, you can learn. Two voices to be heard. Two voices lost to the ages. You will come before me again. I will keep my others back. Please keep alive until then. I hear the voices too, but differently than you. The gods are dead. The creators are dead. But there are two which you may remember. Seek out those two. And maybe you will find something. Seek the fire of the sky, the eternal flame, the burner of suns, and the delver of the earth bringer of worlds. If you find their voices, maybe you too will know the truth. So, who am I?
I have a theory.
I mean, I have a thought, but I am still not 100% sure.
I'm thinking it's Shadow, the spirit at least. Dead god. That
Well, yeah,
he was or whatever.
well, Shadow and my other.
Yeah, because you said there were two figures, right?
Yeah,
I said there was half a dozen figures.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But the ones I'm attached to are specifically the oh god. Echo of Lost Moments and the Steward of Stone and Fire.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's the first one.
Are you the spirit one of the spirits I carry with me?
No. An interesting guess. But we have not spoken before. I don't think we ever would have, should you not have played with something that was outside of your purview. Things will have to be fixed now. You've gone and messed around with the Nether. The Netherworld is one that your kind should not have returned to. You were banished to it for a reason. One that is even lost to many of us, as it is ancient as time itself. You were lucky that you weren't punished with the rest. Your kind oftentimes is looked down on, as many other species are. Humans, elves, dwarves, so full of themselves.
We had little choice.
Think. And if you realize who I am, you certainly will meet again. Look at what I've told you. Seek the dead creators. Names who's lost even more than before. Gods killed long off before those that you know even came. Seek them. Seek their voices. They still remain. The earth still rots. The sun still has not blackened. If you can find them, you might learn some truths. Seems like our time is up. Your connection to the Nether is weakening. I'm sure your friends are saving. My, what an interesting plan you're doing. Don't worry. I'll ensure that what happens is already set down. And the fact that I've viewed a little of your mind won't change anything that's happening. A gift, if you will. Give you a little bit more chance to survive.
Thank you. I will try to be worthy of this gift.
Never said I wasn't a benevolent monster. Come now. We should leave the little one. This will be fun.
Okay, so I think...
One of the figures is actually going to, like, shrink down almost to, like, huge size and kind of approach you.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you, little rat friend, that if he wants, I can make him a pet. Just like his master. He'll find so much more happiness.
Yeah, okay, I know who I just talked to then. It was who I was thinking of originally.
Anyway.
Who?
The Dreadlord.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about the Chaos God that is depicted, which I think might also be the Dreadlord, but... because there's the Chaos God, which they were worshipping in the alchemy lab. There were some signs of it.
Yeah.
As well as the Dreadlord.
My original thought was it might have been the Dreadlord, and with that last comment, that's obvious who that was. So that kind of put everything in perspective.
He made an offer to make Ixbanor a new familiar of someone much more powerful.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to take up on that.
Anyway, before we find out what happens on the other side of the portal, we'll end there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was a dead god, which I thought it might have been Shadow, or it might have been the Chaos God. But the Chaos God might also be the Dreadlord, so...
Well, you were revealed that there are two dead gods that we're not known about.
Yep.
And you heard their full titles, too, which are much more in-depth titles.
Yeah, the Fire of the Sky, the Eternal Flame, and the Burrow of the Earth. I missed the second part.
They each have 3 titles. Let me give you the 3 titles.
Yeah, I must have missed something in the first one as well.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you could give me some of that written down.
I could put it into chat here. Let me just copy
Thank you.
Copy.
Yeah, because we identified a Chaos God as well. I suspected that, I didn't say it at the time, but I did suspect that Chaos God might be the Dreadlord as well, or related to him in some way.
There are comments that were made also that the Earth rots.
Yes.
So that is something that was mentioned. The Fire and Sky, the Eternal Flame, the Burner of Suns, the Delta Earth, the Earth Lord, the Bringer of Worlds.
Yeah, sorry, I should have let you go on with your guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, well, I wasn't 100% sure, so I was just like, maybe that, but why is he being...
Yeah, that's a good point.
Equable?
Like, okay, I shouldn't have said that in part because I realized I don't entirely know the nature. I thought you're just getting power from them and like kind of like warlock style without like knowing entirely. So that's why I was like, oh, maybe it's
Other things that were mentioned, does hear the voices but different than you. So maybe it might be something similar to Warlock or something like that. Other things that you kind of were hinted upon were that might mean something is it was kind of impressive that you were able to basically do what you did. Manipulate the portals. Basically like, interesting. And honestly speaking, the entire thing of like, hey, all those other people that, we've been slaughtering off, they were really horribly racist to everybody, including yourself. Maybe you should switch sides.
Yeah.
It's a suggestion. So this is one of those cases where both sides are really awful.
Yeah, and that's why I'm just like, maybe enough. That's why I responded. Maybe enough blood has been spilt to teach a lesson. Maybe there still could be peace.
Didn't say no. Didn't say yes either.
Right, but that's what I was just going for. It's like, look, both sides have been bad. Both sides have been, have been punished in ways. Maybe the lessons learned. Maybe before destruction is complete, there could be some kind of peace brokered.
We'll have to find out. For now, you've gotten some information. Umbrin drew the attention of some powerful figures. Who kind of see you as like, that's funny. Let it do some things. That'll be kind of entertaining.
Okay, this does make...
Let's watch them do scramble.
Yeah, the main reason I wasn't thinking the Dreadlord is because I was still under the impression that Dreadlord was mortal. Well, I wouldn't say mortal, but I would say not divine. But at this point, I'm getting the vibe that, okay, he may be like a god of chaos, like literally, if this was the Dreadlord.
Anyway,
It is possible.
Because we did see signs of the of like a lost god of chaos in the alchemy, so.
You did see some signs of something related to that. But again, you also, like, Umbrin's probably, I'm going to tell you, just on your knowledge, you've never heard of either of those deities.
Right. No, yeah, I don't think you didn't even give us a title. Like, you just said a god of chaos.
But I mean, like, the two other deities there. Or how they're perhaps related to a god of chaos,
Oh, you're talking about the eternal flame and the delver of the earth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, we obviously those I think might be something else, but it's an interesting idea to seek those out. Because it did seem to make it out as if that was a lifeline of some sort.
Yeah.
It's a thing to think about. Maybe it's an option to look into. But there are still things going on, and there was words of, the city will still fall. I will not interfere, even though I know what you're planning. Not going to stop it, not going to interfere with it. Whatever motions are in motion, Draco's being nice that way, being like, hey, you seem fun.
Very deterministic.
Yeah, well, I find this interesting. I want to see what you do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I doubt you can do major to stop whatever's going to happen, but it's going to be fun either way.
I'm going to go grab a bucket of popcorn and watch.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll leave it there. That's a nice place to leave it.
It was a very good cliffhanger.
I really like that you failed that. I'm not going to lie. That was nice for me.
It's like, I'm going to use the hero point. Let's see if I can make it. No.
Well, the thing is, if you made it, there would have been something else that I was thinking of happening that would have been a little different. This one, you're kind of, unfortunately, getting the attention of powerful forces by failing it. That's basically what happened.
Hi. You see me now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think we were already kind of like in its peripheral. Just now, it's all like looking directly at it. One
of the generals kind of was looking towards you because, oh, hey, it's that guy's familiar that I murdered because I really hated him.
Oh, 12. Okay, there's more. The generals are what's behind him. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that was the guy who shrunk down and made the offer of you could give up that you personally could give up and become his familiar instead.
Yeah.
Might spare you. You seem more interesting than your master. You just have to forsake him. Which he probably would love a lot more than murdering you.
Simple as.
He does probably really still hate your master. For reasons you don't know. They had huge personal beef.
Yep, I am. Now, okay. Anyway.
Did your master give this guy a swirly in high school or something? The fuck did he do?
10 swirly.
You shove him in a locker? It's like some nerd.
I mean, All I
Again,
know is he used to be a student of his, if I remember correctly.
yes.
So
He failed him in biology.
No.
The
No,
bastard.
I don't know if you would ever find out, because I think there was a chance of you learning earlier, and like there's like really no way of you finding out. So I can kind of say that your character wouldn't know. Would be that basically no one remembers that people were actually in the Barrens, the continent to the south, when the wall went up and everybody, all the more in quotation savage races were shoved down there. They were just sealed down there, including that guy and his entire family, who died in the interim. And then he became the monster he is now, and has sworn revenge because, hey, yeah, the guys that killed my family, they aren't at fault. No. The guys that threw us all together, those guys are at fault. But he's also then become an evil, horrible scientist along the way, and probably really likes his job, you know. You start off a place of revenge, you go into a place of you like your job, and, you know, experiment on people and create horrible flesh monstrosities.
I feel like you could have gotten that out in an evil monologue at some point, but oh well.
You know, it's important to enjoy your work.
It's true. To enjoy your work, creating horrible flesh monstrosities out of people.
Well, that part's not good, but it's important to enjoy what you do for a living.
You know, it's that old chestnut. It's the age-old story of, you know, like, revenge corrupts and ultimately kind of thing and draws you to a darker place, etc., etc., yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a, you know, it's that entire thing of, like, there was a chance you would have picked up on some of this backstory, but I think we kind of, like, lost it and, like, you know, you didn't make some checks or something early on. I'm like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I doubted it would come up ever at this point in time.
Yeah.
Just because of some of the directions you've taken. There were possibilities before. Alright, why don't we give, I guess, Wyrm, you have shout-outs normally? Because I don't think anybody else does unless you want to. Nope.
I
not
am
this time,
Diamond Wyrm. You can find me on twitch.tv/DiamondWyrm or at DiamondWyrm on Twitter and Blue Sky, and DiamondWyrm9234 on YouTube.
Hey,
mostly, lately I've been streaming Risk of Rain content.
Constantly.
Risk of Rain player detected killing them with hammers.
Look, you know, I'm technically one of those, but only for multiplayer and only a couple of times, once or twice a month.
I only played
Risk of Rain 1 or 2?
2.
He's playing. Yeah, I play 1 and 2. I'm playing Returns in 2, which is
basically
the remake of 1.
Because we do like a group gaming sessions on Fridays with Wyrm, myself, and a friend of ours, Blaze. We've added in for a roguelike Risk of Rain 2. I don't mind playing it with other people. I would never play it on my own. I don't mind playing it with people, but it's definitely not a game that I'd be like, I want to like dive in there on my own.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, hi, I'll be back tomorrow to talk about some tabletop. Check out, I've just been streaming for gaming stuff. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, been enjoying that a lot, so I've been doing that. Make sure to check out Stuff Tabletop Saturdays at 6, this show next week at 8. If you are over on the Twitch side of things, check out the YouTube side of things. If you're on the YouTube side of things, check out the Twitch side of things. Make sure if you're over on the YouTube side of things, there's a subscription there. And of course, check out my social media for any updates and stuff like that. That's my little shout out there. Cool, I got it all. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. I have been Jessse, DM here, and hopefully see everybody next time when we continue more adventures. And yeah, we'll see what happens when they leave another world. They ended up somewhere. Until then.
In hell.
Yeah, we went to the Hell Night